Уважаемые гости, до начала встречи осталось 5 минут. Большая просьба занимать свои места.
Pool is a game of skill
and precision, strategy and concentration,
strong mentality, and patience.
As a pool player, I have to find proper balance
between offense and defense.
I'm constantly in the process.
Solving multiple puzzles in the game.
We don't grow when things are easy.
We grow when we face a challenge.
This is the way to improve.
There is always a new challenge to keep me motivated.
And as I'm chasing my dream,
my biggest competitor is myself.
In the end,
there is only one winner.
The one who performs
at the highest level
with great consistency.
Pool is not just a game.
Pool is not just a sport.
But it's a way of life.
the time has come
to challenge my skill
and make the dream come true.
Dream
Challenge.
It's Dreamchallenge.
Здравствуйте, с вами Анастасия Лупова. Я рада приветствовать всех любителей американского пула, присоединившихся к нашей трансляции из Москвы. Самая знаменитая площадка для пула нашей страны, база «Арена», снова в эфире. Командный кубок мира Dreamchallenge 2019. Самое яркое и самое запоминающееся событие из России. Команда США ведет за счетом
7-5. Provided by ABN Billiards with full support of Matchroom Pool. And here we are going to get some interview from Team Russia captain Alan Khistanov.
Yeah, and I think Russia, even though they're trailing by 2 points, some great news for Alan there, having a beautiful baby boy this morning, so maybe luck on his side.
That's wonderful news. So here in the booth, I'm joined by two, I would say, celebrities for our sport of pool. A very warm welcome once again. They are Jeremy Jones and Emily Fraser.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us. It's been quite an interesting and exciting couple of days here for the Dream Challenge. I'm very excited about this final evening, and I'm hoping USA do get their victory, I must say.
Yeah, that makes two of us, Emily. Of course, Michael's a little on the other side of the fence, but that's okay.
That's okay, 2 against 1.
Yeah.
And so I think they're just finishing off the interviews in the arena. Mike is actually pointing to his shirt. I've only just realised this. We've spoken how many times today that I haven't even noticed. He is wearing an England shirt. Thanks, Mike. I feel very at home now.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a football team jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to turn the tides here in the booth, huh? A bit.
Hopefully.
Okay, so we've got our first match of the evening here at the ABN Billiards Dream Challenge, and it's going to be Billy Thorpe, Shane Van Boning against Stepanov and Chinahoff. There you go.
This is going to be a thrilling encounter, I believe.
Yeah, star-studded duos here with Stepanov, and of course we've seen his record in the Dream Challenge and been a great player for a long time, and Chinahoff, who's had a great season and a great player in himself at a young age, been a great player for a long time, and a guy fighting for a spot on Europe's Mosconi Cup team, and SVB, who name speaks for himself, and his roommate and running buddy, Billy Thorpe. Great talent.
Also fighting for the Mosconi Cup.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
The interviews by Team Russia, and basically what they say is we spent a lot at the table together, both as partners and competitors. I don't think it's a big deal for us, says Ruslan. We should treat our opponents seriously. SVB alone is enough to get all the job done. He's pulling them like a heavy haul truck.
And so the overall score at the moment in the Dream Challenge is 7-5.
In a race to 10.
In a race to 10.
Yeah, so unlike the last 2 years, and we'll listen to SVB.
We both got the same mentality, so you should be okay.
Well, me, I'm in difficult situations. I'm going to ask him what to do because definitely has more experience than me and stuff. So usually I get his mindset of what he would do, and then that's pretty much.
I'm just going to tell him to bank it in. No problem.
Yeah, bank it in, baby.
You actually had no idea what they said, but I sounded like it was funny.
Yeah, I was trying to read the lips. I'm actually usually pretty decent at it from being in the pool room so many years. You're trying to maybe spy on a few people trying to bust you, but...
So here we are, we've got the players coming into the arena. Again, the overall score at the moment is 7-5 to Team USA against Russia. And it is the first team to reach 10 points this evening, so potentially a 3-0 from Team USA.
Well, a lot of pressure on Team Russia to start, you would think, especially with two of their best players coming out. Of course, you'd think they'd need this point, but 9-ball pool can change in a hurry, so we'll see how it unfolds.
And it's a race to 5 format each match. We've got a 30-second shot clock. One ball on the spot for the break.
And interesting enough that this is the first time that America has led coming into the last day of the Dream Challenge. Now it's only in its 3rd year, so somewhat in its infancy, but so a different perspective for both teams with both the same goals.
And so just looking at tonight's sort of starting lineup obviously from Team USA, you and Johan have put out Billy, Shane, and then you've got Tyler and Skylar coming up next after that. Two very strong pairings, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, and guys that have spent time together playing, obviously, in the last 18 months. And then Billy and Shane have spent a lot of time together since Billy was probably 15 years old. Shane kind of took him under his wing, and they became good friends. They're on a long trip together. This is going to China, and now 2.5+ weeks here in Russia. So two very comfortable partners, and I'm sure the same for Ruslan and Stepanov.
But you usually see Shane with Skylar for any sort of doubles matches. So for me personally, I'm quite interested to see how Shane and Billy play together, because it's a World Cup pool pairing that's never happened before as well.
Oh yeah, and it's, the Mosconi Cup, you can't play all the same pairings. You have to change it up. So definitely need that variety, and it's I think Billy's gonna really enjoy it myself.
And of course, we're going to pay much more attention to that heart rate numbers.
Definitely.
The monitors provided by Garmin.
I think it's been such a great value to add to the event. It's definitely opened my eyes up, coming from sort of matchroom pool events. It's just fun and exciting to see, how these players are executing these shots when their heart rates are so high, or even when they're so low as well. So,
and even in the chair, sometimes when they're not performing, how high they can be. So a difficult run out here to start. You can see the 3-4 kind of jumbled up, the 5 on the other side, the 6 up table with the 7 back down. So a lot of work for U.S., but if they can get through this rack, it probably do a lot of good for them.
Yeah, dry break by Team Russia.
Okay, perfect angle here to slide over. Okay, is he going to bump the 4? Yeah, got him elevated, and that's probably going to slow them down. Maybe not from making the 3, but you can see the 4 doesn't pass the 6. So it may be something like, if he can get at this 3 even, he's got one heck of a stretch, and he's only got the right side of the cue ball. Maybe a cross bank on the 4 to stay offensive if he can get this 3 down. Oh, he missed it.
Well, surprisingly, I've seen Shane missing those jack-type shots way too often.
Really? Well, he's a man that doesn't get himself jacked up very often, so... but you're a big pool fan yourself, Michael, so I'm sure you've watched a lot of it.
Well, apparently Shane doesn't like the situations when he cannot have the full cue ball. I mean, when asked about the only one advice for those pool players out there, he told just stay away from the rail.
Oh, yeah.
And basically that situation was probably the same.
It's about the same. Watch out for the side, and he's going to actually get a great angle on the 4 to draw over for the 5. So a little fortune, but he had to take a little chance coming across. Again, he needs to gather an angle on the 5. He doesn't want to fall straight. Okay, and there's that heavy draw on the cue ball, so watch out. And I think another friendly bump, a little less on the 9, he would have certainly been behind it. Okay, so he should just kind of pound across, straight across. You can handle an angle on the 6, or you can handle somewhat full. Oh, so that's the type of shot also, we've seen it to where when you have to elevate speed on this table, accuracy is sometimes lost.
Just because it's so hard to get that speed.
Well, that and just the contact between cue ball and object ball can vary a little bit because of the slick conditions. Okay, now Billy's faced with a very difficult offensive shot.
And once again, Jeremy, you were talking about like more cue ball deflection in these conditions of new felt.
Yeah, and there's less friction too when the cue ball hits the object ball. So you figure it to grab the object ball a little bit more, maybe like an outer table or a table you practice on more often, or even tournament tables you play on more often.
I believe Billy still can cut this in.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. If he wants to go offensive here, I can't blame him. Okay. So just a little thick. So pretty similar to yesterday's match, the first couple of games to start day 2. And quite honestly, day 1, there were a few struggles, but play got a lot better quickly. And I talked to Ruslan right before we got started here, and we were talking about the variance in his heart rate between day 1 and day 2.
It was very different, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And I asked him if it was because you maybe got to play a little bit more in day 2. He didn't get to shoot many balls in day 1, and he thought it was because he felt a little colder, mainly, like his body was trying to warm itself up. So
he was wearing a like an under.
Yeah, undershirt.
Well, once again, Ruslan got a kind of flu.
Watch out for the 8.
That is what worries me a little.
Yeah, and here
they definitely repositioned a not very good position.
Is the kiss shot on? I think it is. The problem is here, he has to hit it slowly, I think. And again, here's where the slick conditions, he needs a little inside English, meaning left English, to throw the 8, and it doesn't grab quite so much. So he may hit this 8 into the bottom rail. But the other problem is the 7 going to end up on top of the 8 because he has to hit it at a light speed.
And so they've taken their extension here, Russia. Obviously just take a little bit more time at the table.
And going for that kiss shot Jeremy just mentioned.
Yeah, and we'll see if the left English really grabs the 8 and throws it to the right for the make. Yeah, but you see it was on the bottom of the pocket.
Very nice call, Jeremy, once again. We've seen plenty of left side on the cue ball.
But Russia's going to hold serve, it appears, here in the opening game. I'm interested to see, with opportunity, if it comes up, if questions are needed or maybe some direction is needed, how much Shane offers.
Yeah. In these doubles matches, it's down to the 2 players in the pairing to decide who breaks first. Am I right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is.
So naturally, sort of Shane would be looking to just go out and take the break first.
Well, Billy's a very capable breaker, and just like the other day, we saw Skylar really break well in a singles match, and then him and Shane followed up a doubles. So they went ahead and let Skylar break first. Yeah.
Well, it's all things that they have to talk about, don't they, when they come into these pairings, and the players are getting to know each other so well. And I think personally that's what I like about these trips as well. They all have to like room together. They all have to spend so much time with one another, and I think that's why it's also so important when they come in earlier ahead of the Moscone Cup, because they all gel, and that's what we kind of felt in London last year, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Okay, and maybe another dry break with the 8 hanging in the corner. And again, a very difficult starter with a tough layout.
I was watching Shane just earlier before they came on to the TV arena, and Shane's breaks were just so strong. It was unreal. It must just be so different when you obviously come out into the main arena as such.
Well, and I'll tell you, that's how confident he is. A lot of guys on the slick table, any mishit on that break at so much speed, you can have some real problems. And he's a confident man when it comes to not only playing, but obviously breaking the balls, and he didn't back off at all there. So this is one you have to, if you put in the right spin to try and get around on the 2, not an easy shot. And it may not take so much to spin. Yeah, that's what happens there. Heavy deflection on the cue ball, and he hit it very thick.
So what's Team USA looking to do here?
Oh, they're in a good spot here. This is where it's a little tricky. They're going to play the 1-8, whether it's a kiss shot or a combination. But they have to be aware of making both the 1 and the 8, and with the 2 pinned on the side rail. And this is where that direction may come in, where the experience. And I think he's told Billy, hey, shoot the 1. I think you can shoot it easy enough to come right up into the 3 with the cue ball. Now watch the scratch off the 3 in the right side pocket. That angle is very offered. Oh, 9 ball. Early winner.
Go on, Team USA.
That's right.
He's like, what? And that's 1-1 for USA against Russia in the first match of this evening.
I think that was the fastest track of all the event.
Yes, it was.
Certainly was.
Yeah, that was a quickie, that's for sure. And I think, you know, Shane has really taken another role with this team. You know, last year, honestly say that, you know, he wanted to win, but he didn't. There were some other things besides his great play that he was trying to learn as well.
Sure.
But now this year, he's offering a lot of advice for the other players. He's talking to Johan and I about the other players, where his insight is important, and especially with somebody he knows so well like Billy.
So you mean to say that recently, like previously, that didn't happen that much with Shane?
Well, you know, Shane's technique is different than most. So when you're
communicating with the team during the Moscone Cup.
Well, no, he did, but it wasn't. It's almost like it was more of what was asked, and he was certainly
instead
there.
of actually just wanting to as such. But I think the teams are
now
so
he's
different.
more enthusiastic, obviously, about this one, right?
Yeah, and you know, he's very motivated about his own game, and I think that also kind of bleeds off into these other guys.
2 balls down and 1-7, an early combo for Team Russia.
Yeah, and one that Ruslan should bury. Always when you're shooting a combination, when there's a little distance between the object ball and cue ball. All right, doesn't want to maybe make them both. Not the worst thing in the world, but when you shoot the 2, you could get a little closer because they're going to have to get a little tidy on the 3 ball. Okay, he's going to put the inside spin, kind of drift down 2 rails towards the 10, towards the 2, excuse me. Okay, and this is that distance and that angle that can become a little questionable. So he may have to travel 2 rails above the 4 here, Michael, to get a nice clean shot on the 3 ball, like where he's looking now.
That's for sure, right? No way he will be able to hold the cue ball for the 3.
No, and he can't get into the 5 to open up those 2 balls. Ooh, okay, so cue ball might run a bit more than desired.
Well,
so
he's fine. I think he can use the 5 just to stop the ball off the rail.
Yeah, but interesting, you know, the 4 doesn't pass the 9 in what would be the upper or lower right now if you're looking at your screen.
Yeah, it's available to the right hand side or left hand corner pocket, where the 3 is right now.
Yeah, but the problem is if he goes into the 5, if say he lays on the rail or with a funny angle, it could become a little difficult on the 4.
So that's Russia calling their extension.
I think he would like to hit ball first here on the 5 instead of going into the rail behind it. We'll see. And if he hits it thin, he may creep up and get on top of the 4 with the cue ball. So a touchy shot. Oh, okay.
He's on the wrong side of the 4.
But he can stop, right?
Just a bit, right? Once again, I think the 9 ball is there if he needs to maneuver the cue ball just a little bit further to the right side.
Yeah, I think for the most part, a great overhead here that just all about making this 4. He'll have a little bit of a cut on the 5, but he's close enough to it. He should be able to kill the cue ball for the 9. All right, they don't have an extension anymore. Okay, he went forward a bit. So now he's going to have to spin this either with a little inside to check on the right side of the 9 or a little outside to come behind the 9 and play it in the same pocket as the 5.
What about going 3 rails around?
Well, I think it's a little too thick to want to move it that far. I think anyways. And that thick hit, but they're sliding in right now.
He used the whole corner pocket there.
And that's that deflection we were talking about with the heavy left spin. And he's already had a couple of those that kind of just, you might say, squeaked their way in the hole.
So that's 2-1 to Team Russia in this first match of the final day of the Dream Challenge. And it's just worth mentioning, obviously, it's USA versus Russia, but it's Team USA's race to the Mosconi Cup, isn't it, Jeremy? So
oh, certainly.
We've got Skylar and Shane, who are already in the team, with the other 4 players trying to battle it out, basically, for you and Johan to pick them for next week. We're going to be making 2 announcements next week at some point. And I guess you and Jeremy going to take, you and Johan going to take some time, and you just obviously been looking at the players, how they've been playing here at the Kremlin, and obviously in this event as well, in such a similar style format to the Mosconi Cup. A lot of pressure resting on their shoulders, aren't there?
Yes, there is, and that's how it should be, quite honestly. They're playing for a lot of other guys that aren't going to make the team this year, and they're playing for one guy that's not going to make it from this little nucleus, and they're playing for the country and some darn good prize money as well.
Definitely our first increase for this year, which is obviously, which I think that's just touching base on what we were speaking about with Shane earlier. He seems obviously to be communicating more with the team, but I think a lot of these players, their turnaround for the recent Mosconi Cups is they've seen how much this event can actually grow and how much of an impact it can make on their career. And for them to actually fully get behind it like they are doing now, it's just great to see. And we're only going to see it evolve even further.
Okay, got one down, but he lost the cue ball to the bottom rail. He's going to get, well, if the 9 doesn't get bumped here, okay, he's going to get a little bit of a look at the 2, but he may bank this cross side. I know it looks like kind of a crazy shot, but he can run the cue ball maybe 1 rail at the 3, and the safety is very difficult, Michael. So I wouldn't be surprised if Shane tries to make this bank in the corner. I mean, excuse me, on the side by the 7.
And can he see enough of the 2 ball just to drive it towards that side pocket you are talking about?
Yeah, he definitely can bank it, that's for sure. He's looking to maybe play the 2 off the 8, where the 2 kind of carries towards the 6 and run the cue ball up the table. And this is, go ahead.
Sorry, Jeremy, this is where the players do really need that 60 seconds after the break, don't they?
Yeah, because there's, you know, especially, I was going to comment a minute ago, I really like seeing all the different layouts when we're playing with the rules we're playing under. You see, really, the guys have to have all the game. They can't just, you know, be a break and run kind of a fest, you might say. Of course. So yeah, with these conditions, I definitely think that the 60 seconds is probably going to be a good thing.
I guess there is a kiss on the 3 going off the 2.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out if he's going to lose the cue ball any kind of way. Now he's looking for the bank, and I don't blame him, just because it sets up so nice. Oh, he's missed it high, and the high side was the safer side, but okay. So
and
this.
What's Billy looking to do here?
Well, it depends on how much he can get of that 2 ball. We'll see. He had a similar shot, I believe it was yesterday, where he tried to bank the 2 back up and draw past the scratch we were talking about, Michael. And remember, he tried to come behind the 4-9, kind of similar here. He may have to try and play the 2 up, and he's going for the kick if he's hitting high ball. Okay, great shot. Watch out for the scratch.
It's in.
Well, that's pretty unlucky.
I like you, Jeremy, talking about your players playing for the country. I think this is the part which was missing, like throughout these recent years when the Team USA was on the losing side.
Oh yeah, and that's a lot of, you know, appreciating where you're at and appreciating the work, and you know, and honestly making the players that didn't make the team from America. There's a lot of great players in America, that making them appreciate what you've done.
Of course.
The hard work is important. I think when I played, that was a very easy motivating factor for myself anyways. Okay, a little funny here. He's got a, anytime you're playing the 7 to the side, you want a very natural angle to get where you're going with the cue ball. Oh, oof, okay. So
He's nice.
Yeah. Stepping off, though, I see struggling with the cue ball just a little bit to start day 3.
Well, you know, I wonder if fatigue could be a factor if talking about Konstantin, because yesterday he had to play 3 matches, actually, more than anyone.
He's in trouble here, isn't he? This is like, besides being on the rail, this does, I mean, the TV can fool us on the angles, but this does not look very sweet, because we talked about it before. If you put draw stroke with the side spin, the cue ball can very much stall on you and not grab. So we'll see if he puts a lot of right English or, oh, he got a lot out of the cue ball. That was nice.
Well, you know what? Also, there is a kind of a specialty shot for these kind of situations when you almost shoot the jump shot into the 8 and just trying to get on the rail and off it to get the rolling from the cue ball.
Yeah. Michael's talking about really getting into the rail quickly with the cue ball with a little more power
or
and
even just basically getting on top of the
right,
cushion.
Letting the cue ball get up in the air a little bit, so it gets a little bit more of the meat of the cue ball, so it gives you a little bit more bounce. And Team Russia out to the exact lead they needed, I think.
So that's 3-1 to Team Russia in this opening match of the final day of the Dream Challenge.
Well, actually, I believe that Team Russia are the underdogs in this very clash. Of course, Ruslan and Costa have all the experience there. They played, I think, at least 9 times together at the Mosconi, at the World Cup of Pool, sorry. But at the same time, their playing styles are so different.
Well, Ruslan must have started at a very young age, only 26 years old if he played 9 times.
Yeah, I think the first year Stepanov was featured at the World Cup of Pool was 2006.
What a strong break.
Well, great start here with a nice cupcake shot on the 2 with the 4 hanging.
What?
Well, you know, for
What
these
did you
guys,
say?
kind of like an easy one, basically, a cupcake. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard you say that.
Yeah, I haven't said it in a minute, but yeah. Oh, okay. So again, not hitting the pocket so cleanly, but still got it down. Okay, so this is a pretty easy one here with just some right spin coming over to the long rail for the 5 in the side. Really, any kind of work here is maybe from the 7 to the 8. Thing about this position, though, now it looks to be most likely 4-1 after these are cleared off by Team Russia. But say USA breaks and runs out, well, it only takes really one mistake from Russia to let USA back in this match. That's the beautiful thing about the races to 5.
And what a pairing to let back at the table. Someone, obviously Shane Van Boning and Billy Thorpe, you don't really want to give them any opportunity, do you? Because they're fully going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and the match has changed so quickly. Just come back where the cue ball's at now. Yeah, it's right to the center of the table. And that's a great drill for people out there, as I do that a lot, is just play shots from where the cue ball's at and try to come back where it's at. But because a lot of times you're in that position to where you're shooting the 3, and if you just get the cue ball back to where you're at now for the 4, that's the prime position. And it's a great little drill to work on.
Oh, thank you, Jeremy. I'll definitely practice that
there
when
you
I
go.
get home.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you will.
I also think that these kinds of drill might be helpful for your safety play.
Oh, yeah. Well, it develops a lot of trust, because the most information you can get shooting a shot is where you start the cue ball from. So if you're trying to get back to that position, well, you get to kind of tuned in better, you might say.
So that's 4-1 to Russia. Quite a speedy match so far. So they are on the hill to taking the first match of the evening for the final day.
Yeah, in the first 2 days we had 6 matches, and if we go all the way to the end here, we'll have
Well, we
7
get some,
tonight.
Oh, goodness
some
me.
stats for Ruslan Chinakhov and his performance at the Dream Challenge overall. Well, let's put it straight. It's dreadful so far. In terms of matches won and lost, it's 2-8. Believe it or not, and he's
Poor
the worst
Ruslan.
of all of them. Like in terms of Rex won and lost, it's -19.
Okay, it looks like, is the one going to get up? And the bank's, well, no, maybe the bank is there for Billy Thorpe if he wants to go aggressive, playing the 1 back underneath the 4 and the 8.
I'd like to see that. I always like to see an aggressive bank shot.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely more exciting.
Okay, and interesting enough that the 2 heart rates for the Russians in the chair with a 4-1 lead are higher than the 2 Americans at the table trailing 4-1.
Very interesting indeed.
Well, actually, I'm trying to put some notes in terms of heart rate, and Ruslan right now, he just repeated the record set by Max Eberle yesterday at 145.
Did he not reach 150 at all yesterday, Max?
Okay, that's going to get away from him. He was trying to get the cue ball behind the 5 and possibly the one up underneath the 4 and 8.
I'm sort of tilting my head slightly to try and see.
Yeah, that
how it was positioned, yeah.
that 2-dimensional doesn't change much. I learned that trying that many times. Okay, the 2 doesn't pass the 3, I don't think, so he may have to either put a lot of right spin and just float above the 2 or go up and down the table. Okay. So this is one of Ruslan's best shots, killing the cue ball. He'll kill this with a lot of low spin coming to the backside of the 3.
Watch out for throw, though.
Yeah, but this is one you hit with a little more straight draw. So the throw really shouldn't be there. The main thing is don't let up on the stroke.
Just elaborate to me as to when you say kill the cue ball.
Meaning slow it down.
Yeah,
So
okay,
you
thought
grip
so.
the cue ball with different Englishes to
Yeah.
speed it up or slow it down, depending on what you need for position.
So next shot is probably going to be a safety on the 4.
I don't know. He may try and drive through that 9 ball, maybe, or he may elevate and just try and get above the 7-9. He's close enough to the 3. If he elevated, the accuracy should be okay.
5 seconds left.
Well, they still have their extension, I believe, so, and they've taken it.
Yeah, right.
He's not elevating much. So maybe he's going into the 7, just cannon into the 7 a bit. Oh, he went into the 9. So here's that safety you were talking about. And that's a good percentage play if it works out. Now, I guess the 4 doesn't pass the 8.
No, it does not.
Okay. But I think that was a smart play, not losing control. You're up 4-1. I know it makes you think maybe I can go for something a little dicey, but Russia needs to secure this point, and you have to play the percentages.
The 1 rail escape is there, and we see SVB measuring, once again using that system, Jimmy Reed.
Yes, it is, and I think for his natural aiming point, the side pocket might be in the way a little bit, so he's going to have to make an adjustment for that. But I wouldn't be surprised if he makes this with a lot of heavy left spin.
Having seen so many shots by Shane, he's the favorite to make it, actually.
Oh, I think so. I agree with you totally, Michael. And he also knows to miss it on that side to where the 4 banks back up if it doesn't fall in the upper right pocket.
Well, this is an easy bank cross corner on the 4 ball. Just a half ball hit, I suppose.
Yeah, I think the 4 is a little. See, it's up above that first diamond, so I think it's a little higher up than you think. Watch out for. Yeah, I think that was better if going for the safety. I think.
But he left a shot.
Yeah, he did.
What's he thinking here?
Well, I think he can bank the 4 long rail all the way down by the to the bottom rail and kill the cue ball and let the 9 and 8 play as cover.
So what's Shane saying?
Yeah. Oh, he's putting him behind the. Okay. This is a little touchier shot on the slick table. But you see just banking the 4 all the way down with a high left ball and using the 8-9 for cover. Now he's going to try and go behind the 5, and we'll see.
I think that's what Billy was originally saying, and then obviously Shane.
Well, he got a little unlucky there not to contact the 8 or 9. If he contacts the 8 or 9, he may not get the snooker, but he's probably not going to leave an offensive shot.
The 4 ball had so much weight on it.
Yeah.
It would have been seen inevitably.
Yeah, and that's what I say. He got the snooker, but it may not have played so offensive for Team Russia. I'm surprised he's elevating here. I thought he would just roll this in maybe and take the shot. Oh, he hit it well, though.
Did you see the cue ball hopping just a little?
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of people don't realize how often the cue ball gets off the surface, not only when you're jacked up, of course, but even on some level strokes when you're on the bottom of the ball.
Every time your cue is not level, it actually just takes off the cloth.
Mm-hmm. Draw strokes mainly.
For a millimeter or so.
Right. Okay, so in prime position here to cut this match to 1 point. That's 7-6.
I'll let Russia take a point here, and then USA can take the next 3 points,
well,
just for a fair game.
There we go. Well, they got the first point yesterday, and I was super impressed the way the guys recovered, stayed positive, and won 4 out of the next 5. So I think he can just pretty much stop his cue ball here for the 9 in the side if he wants. If he feels like he's going to get too close to it, he'll draw it back for the 9 in the same corner.
And just hear those Russian fans.
They're going to go crazy. So that's 5-1 to Team Russia in the first match of the final day of the Dream Challenge, and it takes the overall score 7-6 USA against Russia. It is a first to 10 overall in this tournament. And up next, we're going to be seeing Tyler Steyer, Skylar Woodward, which I'm very excited to see these two pairing. And Maxim and Sergey again.
Yeah, I know you love Serge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then we have our rookie that played very well last year as a whole in the Mosconi, and of course our reigning MVP of the Mosconi Cup, Sky Woodward, and a guy that's had a great year.
Sky improved so much throughout the 2019, I believe.
Well, I think
going from that Mosconi Cup success.
Yeah, and I think he had some really nice success in 18 as well, but it was just the build-up of getting to the point he wants as far as winning the big tournaments. You know, Derby he won the U.S. Open 8-ball here not long ago, U.S. Open 10-ball he was in contention, making a run at many events. And you might say just what the doctor ordered for Team Russia. Not only the win, but a convincing win.
Definitely, and a quick match.
Yeah.
So it's funny, so Anastasia here obviously just going to do an interview with both Tyler and Skylar.
Chasing you successfully, do you feel the pressure?
Что, ребят, наша команда вас догоняет. Как вы чувствуете? Чувствуете давление?
It's just the first match, race to 5. I'm happy and losing, try and hold our own, see how it goes.
Это всего лишь один матч, игра до 5 побед. Мы просто будем играть свою игру и посмотрим, что получится.
What about you?
No pressure. We just want to come out here and try to play our best. That's all we can do.
Нет, никакого давления не испытываем. Просто будем показывать свою лучшую игру. Это все, что мы можем сделать.
Настоящие профессионалы. Thank you, guys. Так, поприветствуем. Команда России. Максим Гуданец и Сергей Луцкий.
And here they're welcoming in Maxim and Serge.
Ребят, ну сейчас очень ответственный момент, важная действительно часть сражения. Вы говорили, что всегда будете играть очень дерзко и интуитивно. Вы измените как-то свой стиль из-за счета непростого?
Okay, guys, it's very important, even decisive moment. In your interviews, you've always been telling that you're going to play fearsome and adventuresome. Are you going to stick to this plan today?
Нет, будем также стараться играть быстро, дерзко, молодежно.
Yes, we're gonna play our game, we're gonna play fearless, and we're gonna do our best.
Я согласен с Максимом. Тоже будем играть, как играли прошлые дни. Просто чуть-чуть лучше.
Yep, that's right. We're gonna play as we played in the previous days. We're just gonna try to show our best game.
Ну что ж, самые смелые ребята именно в нашей команде. Спасибо, желаю вам удачи.
And there we are, we've got both teams in the arena. And funny enough, it's good to see Anastasia out there. So I've been sharing a ride with her every day coming into, obviously, the club. She picks me up from the hotel. And we have a good 45-minute journey together. And she has the best music playlist that you could ever have. She just goes from, like, Queen to Ed Sheeran, and then to, like, Pink, back to Queen. And I'm literally just sitting there singing away. She's just laughing, and she's lovely
You know
company.
what? I almost got blind looking at her dress.
It's a fantastic dress. I'd love to be able to pull off a dress like that.
So she puts you in good spirits before the show gets started here
Yeah,
each
that's
day.
exactly what we do. We come over and I'm singing away. And
Well, she's always been pleasant, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I've known her since last year, and she's a sweet lady and was a great player in her own right.
I think someone just threw
a strike, like a
ball.
you have like 10 bowling pinball, yeah. 10 pin bowling.
Now for Team Russia, you might say, you know, two fine players, but with Serge and Maxim, but you might say they're at the bottom of the list between the 5 for Russia. So we'll see what they can do after a big win by Ruslan.
You think maybe the most inexperienced partner?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, Konstantin's been around for a long time. Ruslan and Federer kind of speak for themselves, even though Federer's very young. He has a lot more world-class experience, I guess, and results behind it.
And so Skylar.
A dry break
Dry
here.
break, right.
Yeah, but I don't think he can see the 1 at all, and if it is, it's just a sliver. Now, if he can see it, he may be able to come off the left side of the 1 and put him behind the 3. But it looks like Maxim was kind of looking at a rollout situation. Oh, he's looking to make the 1. So does that tell me he can get at it? Okay. I thought he was looking for a push-out situation, but I thought the 7 had him. Okay, so a miss, and we'll see Tyler Steyer, our reigning Kremlin Cup champion, and a guy that really got us on the board last year at the Mosconi Cup with a big win over Niels Fan.
And that was a great win, and he just beat him at the International
the International,
Open.
that's right. The International, that's right. So.
And so I think there was a lot of talk in the air about him beating him again.
And you know what? Niels is the most favorite player for Tyler.
Oh, yeah, well, Niels is a great player. I mean, a guy that has represented Holland and Europe in the Mosconi Cup so well. Now, the 1 ball here, you have a tendency to try and hit it thick to hold speed, so he's got to get the combination of both, and that may be too hard. Oh, no, it's okay. So very good shot to start. And Sky Woodward, one of his best kind of shots, just kind of center ball stun, 1 rail out for the 3. And a guy, as soon as he arrived, started hitting balls today, and I've roomed with Skylar this last couple weeks, and very motivated. A very motivated man, and he never stopped hitting balls the entire day, except for maybe to get a little something to eat. But
I like the pairing of Tyler and Skylar. I just think that both of them have that sort of similar confidence around the table, sort of walking around, and it's an interesting pairing, definitely.
Well, I think they complement each other pretty well. They're both guys that can recover from situations pretty well. And the one thing that I really like is, you know, thinking of November, that's got to slow down a little bit, but I think it's going to be okay. If Tyler was to go on and make the team, that it's a combination that could be looked at. I like Skylar really kind of displaying that confidence. Skylar, the names kind of can get you in this combo.
I second you there.
But his confidence can really kind of rub off, and it's a quiet confidence that with Skylar,
exactly.
But it's a very pure one, in my opinion.
I felt that as well at the Whirlpool Masters this year. he reached obviously quite far in the tournament, and like we say, it's a quiet level of confidence that you get from him.
And the funny thing is, the players around the world might recognize it a bit more than he does at times. You know, I know he knows he's talented and a straight shooter, but all the players around the world definitely recognize it, and recognize that he still has a little bit of. He's going to get even better.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, in America, we played a lot of 7-foot tournaments, you know, to make money and stuff, and it's kind of changing a little, and that's a great thing. And Skylar really dominated America in the 7-footers for some time, and he had to make a living, and a lot of people really kind of labeled him as a 7-foot player.
Okay.
And
it's been hard for him to transfer over.
Well, they were just wrong. They didn't recognize the talent.
I have even heard that recently 7-foot pool kind of erases the 9.
Come again?
The 9-foot pool on the U.S. scene, becoming much more popular, and maybe the room owners are replacing those big tables with the smaller ones.
Well, yeah, and it's a business a lot of times for room owners, so you can just look at it. You can fit 10 7-footers where you can only fit 6 9-footers, and there's a lot of league play in America. So a lot of the amateurs, just like golf, they don't play the back tees. They go up a few tees to make the game a little easier, and you know, consequently, they do the same in pool a bit.
So that's 1-0 to Team USA in the second match of the evening, and the overall score at the moment is 7-6 to Team USA. They did just lose that first match.
Yeah, and a huge rack for USA to open there after losing that first point. You want to keep the heat on Team Russia.
Yep.
You know there's already some heat there. So in this young pairing, we'll see how they respond. One thing about, you know, I've actually spent a little more time while I've been in Russia, not only this year and last year, but last year also with Serge than I have Maxim. Just he comes in, we talk. We played a couple matches together in the Kremlin. We played one.
And actually, you would have played this year, hadn't you lost?
Yeah, no, and I actually wanted that. But anyways, he's a guy that kind of goes with the flow, and I kind of like that. I don't feel like he's going to feel the heat as much, or recognize the heat. Maybe that's a better way to say it.
He's enjoying it, actually.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I think it was you and I, and we talked about it yesterday. He came in and told us how he'd watched the matches, and he was translating to his parents, and he was just, even though I know that it wasn't all positive things we said, that's not our job to sugarcoat it.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, at 21, he is already a very seasoned player, playing all the Euro Tours and getting all those big wins.
No, I enjoyed watching him play. I think he's an impressive player, and like you said, at the table he has this sense of, sort of personality about him, and I think he could be a really interesting player, definitely, for some of our events.
And he's going to get better too as a player. I don't think he's going to lose that personality ever. I don't see that happening.
And that's why events like this Dream Challenge, for instance, are so important in the pool calendar, because, you know, it really just does open your eyes to other players that are out there. And certainly for me, you know, it's really opened my eyes to see, you know, the other players, and especially when you're looking at the World Cup of Pool and the pairings.
Okay, and very calm, Team Russia, as far as, watch out for the cue ball as well. Oh my, so big roll there after a big miss, and you know, if he had made it and the cue ball ended up there, Russia was in a very bad situation, so a bit of fortune.
Don't you think Team USA are also jaw hooked?
Oh yes, there definitely are. That's what I meant. If Russia had made the 4 and the cue ball ended up in the same, they wouldn't be able to see the 5. Now I think USA should successfully hit this ball going 2 rails. And you have a lot of good things that can happen because that's 7, 9, and 5 that are near.
Do you like going 3 rails? Like,
2 rails. Short rail, long rail, medium speed, like that. You got a lot of good things that can happen because the congestion of the other balls there. And it's an easy one to judge. You just see the parallelogram.
I mean, like with a 3-rail route, this cue ball becomes like more of a targeted missile, you know?
Yeah, but with the slide, I think it's very hard to calculate. And the 3-railer is something you learn. And it may be something you learn to give you a good premise on kicking at the ball, but it's actually a 9-ball pool. It's not something you use a ton. So maybe the first time we're going to see the jump cue?
Yes.
There you go.
I get so excited when the jump cue comes out. I just think, you know, it's just great to show the talent of these players when you have shots like this.
Okay, now this is one to where I don't think he'll play the cut. He may, but very hard if he plays the cut to not only dodge the scratch in either pocket, depending on where he shoots it at, but also gain position. Not sure which way I would play this. This is kind of on the fence.
Or get lucky with the 4-wall.
Oh.
Wow, how does that not go? Or very unlucky, so.
Yeah, all the luck so far in this leg goes for Team Russia.
That's okay. Team USA can come back from not having much luck. It gives them some good practice.
Yeah, this is where you see that, you know, you got to overcome these type of things
Exactly.
because you expect them to still get opportunities. A tricky little shot here, though, Michael, because this 4 is so deep. You don't want to shoot the 5 from where the 4's at over the pocket, but you have to come out with the cue ball somehow. So I think playing for a little blind luck with the cue ball there.
Well, not so sure about that one. I've seen, and of course you, Jeremy, have seen them also, like those diamond tables with very deep shelves.
Oh yeah, he overcut that.
Oh wow.
Blimey, he had a bit of a mare there, didn't he?
Yeah, and you know, and that's a bit of knowledge there as far as how the slick table plays. I like the way he played it one rail. I think it was a more simple way to play it, but you have to realize the conditions are slick, the ball's cut easy, and if you drive it a little bit into the bottom rail, it's probably going to go. The only way to really miss that ball for these professionals is on the high side.
Overcut it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, is Skywood banking this long rail? I think so. Watch out for a nice shot here. Oh, he double kissed it. Okay, he's going to need a lot of luck to escape this game. So the guys
I feel like they're rushing it slightly here.
That's what I was about to say. A bit amped up, maybe.
The heart rate didn't tell.
No,
that
it
so
didn't.
far.
No. Okay, there's that side spin. If you use heavy side spin, it can really stall the cue ball. He's okay, though. He just got up enough to where the cut is doable. And where do they go, you know, for Team Russia as far as you're talking about the experience between the two players? And like, are they going to give each other any information or lead each other? Which one's going to do that? And it's an important thing, believe it or not. I want to say probably Maxim has a little bit more tournament experience, I would think.
And would you say that's probably similar in Skylar and Tyler's pairing as well, that maybe the experience would come more from Skylar?
Well, yes, it would. It would for sure. And we talked about it in our group meeting today that actually it was me that I said I was very impressed that we're not too directive.
Okay.
But when it's needed or when you recognize something that maybe your partner isn't recognizing, don't be afraid to speak up. Yeah.
Sure.
Could you elaborate on this a little bit, how long maybe these meetings last?
Well, we just have one every
30
day.
seconds.
Yeah, you know, our coach always has something to go home and write about, and he's very forethought on it and thinks about it, and then he says his words and what he's feeling and what he saw the night before, and then I add a little bit to it, and
then everyone just kind of gets on with it, and it's nice.
Exactly, yeah. And again, we always ask the guys, is there anything y'all want to bring up? You know, it's a team. Okay. We'll see what the break is here for Tyler. Okay, nice, perfect speed. An awful kiss on the cue ball, but it didn't find the pocket, and he's going to get a nice starter. Now, one that Skylar's not only going to have to wait till the 2 stops spinning before he shoots it, but he's going to have to put some stroke on this to draw the cue ball a couple rails around for the 3 in the same pocket. The key to this is don't feel like you have to blast it. If you smooth stroke this, you can get enough on it to get by the 7 and back around, I believe, especially with the stroke Skylar has, or or Tyler if he had to shoot this shot.
Yeah, shooting this shot hard turns like into a kind of stand shot more, and you can easily end up hitting the rail
or hitting the 7
before the 7.
Yeah, and this is where Skyler might have said, "Hey." Skyler, with his technique, recognizes, hey, a smooth stroke will get it done. And he knows Skyler can pull it off. Oh, he went across. Wow, that was purposely, though. That was definitely not a miss it.
That was a big gamble taken on that side pocket scratch.
Well, that's what you got to do in sports sometimes, Michael. It's not always cherries, you know. So, just like throwing into double coverage in American football, you know, if you're a great player, you know, you take chances.
I like it when players take chances and
absolutely.
risks.
Okay, that one's going to hit a little bit wide, but get down. Now he's going to lose the cue ball, probably an extra foot, but still should be okay. This is where, there you go. Even though he knows where he's going, that little going over there and look is settling Skyler, and that's a huge thing. Much smoother there.
Look at Team Russia's heart rate.
Oh, wow.
That's the lowest I've seen. It was since Ruslan on the first day, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, the power of youth, I guess. Even though we have a couple youngsters at the table right now. He's going to draw to the side rail. And he should draw for this. A lot of people would say, let me just chip this in and follow the rail, but then again, the cue ball can stall on you. So better off to take control was, okay. Camera work made me think he cut it a little too much.
Yourself then. Just have a little conversation.
Getting behind the 9 with the cue ball, I thought maybe was a possibility. Okay, so a soft roll on the 8.
Okay, so Team USA looking to go 2-1 up here in the second match of the final day of the ABN Billiards Dream Challenge. At the moment, the overall score is 7-6 to Team USA, so they are leading, and it is first to 10 points. Secretly, I'd love for them to win in the next 3. I say secretly, I'm being very honest and open about it.
Well, you gotta be pulling for who you're pulling for. That's just how it goes.
I'm pulling for Team Europe. Oh, sorry. Oh, gosh.
Well,
that confession just makes you being a very poor man undercover. Or, excuse me, woman undercover.
I mean Team USA right now.
Right.
I remain unbiased when it comes to the Moscone Cup, obviously. I just like to see a good event.
Well, you know, if you were pulling for Europe, no one could blame you.
Well,
just don't tell me about it, that's all.
Trust me, I'm a lot more American than I am British now.
Oh,
I love the American food. I just want to go over there so I can get pancakes in the morning.
There you go, a little Mexican food.
America does everything better than Britain.
Well, I asked you yesterday, I think it was yesterday, so you're English. So what English food do you like? Because I haven't found any yet.
Sorry
you said a burger, and I was like, well, is burger an English food? Or?
Sorry to say that, but the general belief is there is no English cuisine or like a kind of English food.
Come on, there's bangers and mash.
Yeah.
You never heard of sausages and mash?
I eat Italian. I eat Italian when I'm in England, or cook myself one or two.
Chips and gravy.
I was just going to say that Skyler improved his stats yesterday. Just right now, it stands like 5 matches won and only 1 lost.
Okay, so his cue ball got 2 kisses, but he's going to get a nice shot on the 1 with the 2 up top hanging. So we'll see if Maxim can recover off that missed 5 ball earlier. Even though it didn't cost him the game, I'm sure he still kind of remembers it. So this is the type of shot that you would normally hit with low right English on a normal table, but you have to minimize the right or you could catch this ball thick trying to draw it up the rail. Okay, and he did nice there. So a big shot here on a heavy 2 ball with the 3 all the way on the other end.
Yeah, he has a bit straight in, I believe.
Yeah, but that's all. I mean, Maxim couldn't do much from where he was. If he tried to put a lot on it, I think it was danger.
Do you think, Jeremy, he can go with extreme high right? Just go in 2 rails?
Yeah, but if the ball's so close, right? If you try to do that, well, then the ball will kind of like hydraulic on you. Watch out for the scratch. It's going to go long for him, so it's going to work out, but very much flirting.
And once again, this is just another roll for Team Russia. him.
Well, yeah, it wasn't so exact with the shot, but he had to he had to take a little bit of a chance because, like you said, he was kind of straight, right, Michael? So anytime you have to cheat the pocket to try and promote cue ball movement, well, you sometimes aren't going to be so exact. Okay, a little thin here. So this is where if he feels like he has to use side spin to come back, that being left English to come back, easy to hit this ball thick. Interesting shot here because the left English is still needed at a slow speed. And I like him taking a little time here.
The overhead camera also tells me he could bank it cross corner with a draw shot.
Yeah, but you know, them guys like to cut the balls, and that's just because the table you play on, most of them, they cut very, and that's where the left English won't grab at certain speeds. And it takes some time to get used to these kind of conditions. And I'm not talking about just this week. I'm talking about for some guys years.
Yeah, of course. And it's definitely something that I've been thinking about the last couple of days just being here. And you just really sort of learn a level of respect for these players because the type of conditions they have to come into and adapt so quickly and in such high sort of levels as well against their opponents, and it's just really impressive. I mean, I saw Tyler in the gym this morning as well, and you know, he was doing sort of some running intervals. I actually nearly fell off of the squat machine thing because it was a foreign machine and it totally freaked me out. But you know, you see them getting up and going for a workout and they're all at breakfast together, and I just think it's super impressive as to how they adapt and change to different conditions, and they have to do it so quickly as well.
Yeah, and there are a lot more athletes these days. I mean, I think it's a sport for sure because that swinging motion, just like throwing a ball, is involved, but they work out a lot more, they stay healthier.
Yep.
You don't see near as many smokers in the game and stuff like that, so definitely all that adds up, especially with, like you said, all the travel that's involved.
And it must
all
be
the pressure,
tiring, yeah.
And all the pressure.
You know, they're not home and they have to stay in hotels, and it's uncomfortable. Even I find when I travel, you know, you do get homesick and you do get tired, you get jet lagged, and it is tough. And, you know, absolute fair play to them because they're competing in these world-class events.
Looks like you don't agree with the saying like that the home is where you are right now.
No, well, I quite like traveling.
Just bring a little piece with you.
Yes, yeah.
All the way.
You just pack everything in your suitcase and you just basically treat it.
Maybe a teddy bear or like.
Sure. But you know, it is tough, and the players. You know, it's easy to throw in the towel, and that's why we've seen in our sport some very great talents at a young age not continue playing it. Pressure's involved, a lot of travel, and it's just difficult.
And so that's 3-1 to Team USA in this second match of the evening, which is the final day of the Dream Challenge.
Okay, Sky Woodward back to break the balls for the second time in this match. He had a drive break in the opening game. Hit him very well, like he's been doing all week. Oh, watch the cue ball. Ooh, a very fortunate kiss because
was rescued by the two.
Yeah, he was definitely going to scratch in that position.
And right now, I believe that the table is pretty much open for Team USA.
Sorry about that, guys. I think you lost us there for a second.
And a nice combination on the 2 and 3 and laid the 2 up. This is the kind of shot you want to pull it back slowly. You don't want it to have a lot of speed, and the main reason is you want to make sure it grips and you don't threaten this side pocket here. But
meanwhile, Sky Woodward with a new record of 147 for the heart rate.
Okay, he went ahead and played above the side, and I think that's a very smart play. A little more guaranteed there. And actually gives you a nice angle since he got off the rail to fall for the 5. And there's a little more angle there than the camera appears, so I think you're going to see Tyler let out that nice stroke drawn to the side rail, trying to cheat the angle a little bit. No, he's going forward. Okay. And he's going to fall a little straight.
That was a much more comfortable shot to shoot. I mean, going 2 rails.
Right, right. No, I agree with it. I agree with it totally. And there's that fine line to where you get enough angle to where you go forward with it, or you get it a little less and you draw the ball. Oh, he's got enough to punch up, you know, kind of a stun up near the 6.
I feel like I'm learning so much pool lingo sitting next to you, Jeremy.
Oh, the lingo? Yeah, but there's some guys like, well, you know, from way back that are incredible at the lingo. I can just sit around and listen to them all day. It's pretty timeless, the pool lingo is. Okay, a nice stroke there by Tyler Steyer.
And so Team USA looking to go 4-1 here. Skylar makes the 9 ball. And then they take it. And so sort of 2 quick matches here so far in the 3rd day of the Dream Challenge. And what a great setup we have here in the Bazaar Club in Moscow. And really enjoying my time here. It's you've been treated so lovely here, and the food's great, and everyone's so welcoming. And I'm really loving like the production and the setup, and it just looks fantastic. And it's just great to see other events on the calendar that are at this kind of level as well. And I just think it's so great for our sport.
Yeah, and the people in the city, the hotel, everybody's been nice. Not only everyone involved here with the pool scene, but I'm so happy for Alan there. Because since I've gotten here, when he and I have contacted each other for the last few months, you know, I'm expecting a baby, da-da-da.
I didn't know. It was only Anastasia that told me this morning in the car that he was obviously at the hospital early this morning, and I can't believe he's here. Fair play to his wife.
Right. Well, she's still in the hospital, so she'll be there a few days. But, you know, he told me that, hey, our due date is during the Dream Challenge. You know, what's going to happen, da-da-da. And so it all worked out nice, and he's got a beautiful baby boy. Okay, Maxim here to break off, and it looks like a dry break.
Nothing down so far.
And a nice starter for the Americans to get this point back that they lost in the opening match. They've got a bit of work from the 4 to the 5. That's some work there for sure. But if they can get through these first 4 or 5 balls, you can see what the 6, 7, 8, and 9 pretty near each other.
It's really interesting to see Skylar's heart rate actually probably beating Max Eberle's yesterday, and a great addition to this tournament provided by Garmin. Definitely opening my eyes to introducing it to sort of our matchroom events as well.
Yeah, and he's...
He must be feeling it out there, Skylar, if he's, you know, pumped up like that.
Yeah, of course he's feeling it. But, you know, we've talked a lot in the room, and he's very motivated. You know, like I said, it's, I guess, rooming with him my first time. You know, I've been around him a ton, obviously, when, you know, we somewhat roomed together last year in the apartments and whatnot. But when you get somebody off that's a good friend, and they tell you a few more personal things, you might say, and you know, he's, like I said, it's a quiet confidence, but he's a confident man that wants to really challenge probably for the best player in the world one day.
Yeah, and I think he definitely has that in him. And
oh yeah,
just talking about that, he's always that kind of player that I would expect to be really cool around the table and not have a high heart rate, just because he shows that, and that's how he sort of displays himself around the table as such. So I'm actually quite surprised by him having that high heart rate, because he disguises it so well.
Yeah, exactly. You would never think that at all. And okay, a nice draw stroke there, and I think if he gets just a little bit of angle where he can come in between the 8 and 9 and back out for the 6 in the same hole, we're going to get that 2-point lead again for Team USA.
I will make a wild guess. We're going to see Skylar later during our singles matches. So interesting to see how he performs there in terms of heart rate.
Well, I think it's a smart move getting him out there for the singles matches. He's such a strong player, especially in this kind of format as well. He's got that experience.
Of course, he is an MVP of the last Mosconi
Exactly.
Cup, so just he is the one to probably seal the deal for Team USA.
And a rare miss there, and on that type of shot, he had to cut it a bit. And again, the ball's cut easy out here. I think they were fortunate enough to not give up an offensive shot, but you'll see him bang the 6 around for a 3-rail safety. Now, he wants the ball to get closer to the rail, that being the 6, just because it gives you more reference when you're kicking, when the ball's a little
Of
closer.
course, and on the contrary, when you play in safe, you always are looking to leave that object ball in the open.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it was a prime opportunity off of a dry break. They ran the first 5 nice.
Well, talking about Skyler, I put some kind of a commentator jinx on him. Just a little.
Okay, this is the type I like to kick 2 rails slowly, because if you hit it full, you can knock the 6 up on the side rail, and you keep a lot better accuracy than going hard. And you can still gonna hit it hard enough to where you may make it in the corner. So with the 8-9 being there, I like mild.
Oh.
It's difficult to pull the trigger at the mild one because you feel like you want to create some luck. But you also have to recognize, if he had hit that ball, he could have obviously made it up in the upper left, but you're really not opening up the door to luck it in another pocket. I mean, the speed's just not there to do so.
And I hope he doesn't get frustrated with himself, Tyler, because he's such a fantastic player. I mean, he's just won the Kremlin Cup as well.
Oh, yeah.
His first major event ever.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It was great to be able to watch that with you, Jeremy, and to obviously commentate on it. It was he's really impressed me in that final against such a great player like David Al-Kaidi, who has experience in finals like that.
Yeah, and the sweep.
Well, he's a champion.
Oh, yeah, definitely a champion, and a guy who's come a long way himself in his career. Oh, watch out. Is he going to get above this? All right, it's going to sneak into position. You can see that's when you get so close to it, position comes late. But the one good thing for Tyler, too, I think that was huge is he played his best match in the finals, I think. So to handle that pressure against such a great player like David Al-Kaidi, that's going to really take him a long ways, I believe.
And it was a lot of pressure for David Al-Kaidi. He was he's in contention for that Mosconi Cup Team Europe, you know, Whirlpool Masters champion. And to reach the final of the Kremlin Cup, you know, you had Marcus Shamat tuning in and watching.
Yeah.
So a lot of pressure resting on his shoulders there, but obviously Tyler took it down and he played super well.
So some breath of fresh air for Team Russia, trailing 2-racks to 4.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times when you have the time, you know, it's hard to get the first game, hard to get the last game. That's the saying we have in the U.S. at least, and I'm sure they have many similar over here. But sometimes when you miss that opportunity, some of the luck can go against you. So the guys got to stay positive.
We could see some girl in the audience holding the banner in with some Cyrillic letters. And it reads like, I would have gone with you to the end of the world, but it is Dudonets playing today.
Meaning I got better things to do being here at the Baza, I guess, yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Very successful break last time for Tyler. A lot of movement on the 9. The 2 balls down, though, and they're going to get another nice starter on the 1, I believe. It may be a bank, but Sky Woodward can usually handle those. Now, I'm wondering, can he bank the 1 and hit the top of the 9 and kiss the 9 in off the 8? Michael.
Well, we have seen one early winner already.
Yeah.
So maybe here he is just another.
And this is where you just play 2 rails out, drawing the ball with low left English, banking it in, and realizing that you're going to have to play the 4 up long, but that's not really oh, he can cut it. If he's hitting high ball, that means he can cut it in. Okay, and got the cue ball exactly where he wanted. Now, Tyler either draw over or stun to the top rail and play the 4 up long with the 5 so handy. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, once again, like Jeremy Jones is telling you guys, just keep an eye on those opportunities to play the ball long.
Oh, yeah. And even, you know, we promoted on the slick table for sure. But even on regular outer tables, you know, where you might say the shots are a little more difficult, to become a better player, you really have to have confidence playing the rack correctly. It doesn't matter if you fear the shot a little bit, you're going to learn to not fear it. So after missing the last game, a big shot for Sky Woodward and Team USA, probably the shot of the rack. And that's probably as much as anything where you talk about Sky is after he makes a mistake or two, he can really get back into form quickly. He's a man that kind of leaves it behind. So a little draw stroke just past where his hand's at now, and I don't see this being anything but another point for Team USA. Now here's where Sky may not punch the cue ball to the rail. This is where you kind of have the choice, and sometimes he'll want to move it with the flatter ball with a little more speed. But you see, it's weird how the table is. It's very fast bed, but if you're hitting the stun stroke, it really doesn't move that much. Just the revolutions on the cue ball, there's not much there.
Yeah, of course, it looks weird at times. There's a nice and easy draw shot for the 9, and to win this crucial point for Team USA.
Yeah, you want to keep that 2-point lead going into the singles. Because you know that most likely, you would think anyway, that Russia's going to come out firing in the singles.
And so there we have it, 5-2 to Team USA, which brings them to an overall score of 8-6 in the ABN Billiards Dream Challenge. And what an exciting night we have ahead of us. Just 2 points away from the win, Team USA. And as Jeremy just mentioned there, we expect Russia to come out very strong in these singles matches, so stay tuned.
So I think right now we're going to cut the feed off shortly and just refresh your page, your Facebook page, guys, because we're going to start a new one in a minute or so. Stay tuned.
Dreamchallenge 2019. База-арена. Внимание, любители американского пула прикованы сейчас именно к нашей площадке. Сборная США по-прежнему лидирует. Сейчас со счетом 8-6. Рядом со мной наши капитаны, и у меня есть к ним пару вопросов. Итак, Алан, наша игра сейчас переходит в эндшпиль. Как дальше будут развиваться события?
So it's the most important part of the match right now. It's it's going to decide who are going to win. It's the last matches. So what are you going to do?
Ну, сейчас у нас получается 5 Captain's Pick, так называемых. Это выборы капитанов. То есть мы делаем выбор игрока на каждый матч. Делаем их, естественно, порознь. И получаем по факту пару, которая будет играть следующий, каждый очередной матч.
Как принималось решение? Буквально в последние полчаса?
How did you make your decisions?
Да, мы пытались посмотреть, как будет складываться ситуация с счетом. Отсюда были приняты такие разные стратегии, чтобы для расстановки игроков. Ну, тут уже как по факту мы получаем, что угадал, попал.
So the main reasoning for my picks was the score. We were looking at the scores and we're deciding which players are we going to choose for the next game. And so that's the main reason why we chose these players or those players.
And the question, Johan, for you. So I'm sure that now Captain Marcus Shamat, Marcus, hello, is watching your tactics. Are you not afraid of that?
Йохан, сейчас капитан команды Европы Маркус Шамат в преддверии Mosconi Cup наверняка наблюдает за твоей тактикой. Не страшно ли тебе?
Well, I don't believe in being afraid. So no, I'm not afraid. But yeah, of course he will be watching and watching how we do our lineups. But hey, that's how it is. I mean, we're in the open. We're on television on the live stream, so we can't really hide ourselves, can we?
Thank you, Johan.
Нет, совсем не страшно, что мы на телевидении, все открыто, в общем-то, мы никак не можем спрятаться, поэтому с этим ничего нельзя поделать.
Спасибо, капитаны. Thank you. А мы продолжаем. И наши капитаны сейчас раскрыли мне секрет первой пары. Итак, встречайте участников одиночного матча. Команда США. Встречайте Кори Дьюэлл. И как нам важно сейчас поддержать нашу сборную. Встречайте, Россия, Федор Горст. Dreamchallenge — это самое горячее противостояние.
And we are back live. And we're into the singles. From now on, there are no scotch doubles. And just like you guys over there, we don't know the captain's selections for all the matches. So just every single one is a surprise for us also.
No, I know. I'm joking. I just feel like I've got a good guess. Or I might just run out and go and ask Johan myself. No,
that means that you could play a role of the captain for any of the teams, I suppose.
I wouldn't like to. I definitely don't have that kind of knowledge. So I'm interested to see how this match plays out. Definitely Fedor, such a strong player as well, and one of those players who is obviously in contention for our team Europe Mosconi Cup ranking points. It all comes down to the last Euro Tour, really.
Yes, coming just shortly, maybe in a week or maybe two.
Yeah, and it's...
My memory doesn't serve me right there.
I don't know the date.
All October
I know is
12th, I think.
Yeah, all I know is it clashes.
Like that, yeah.
It just clashes with our basketball and netball events, and so we'll be closely watching how the tournament plays out, because there are a lot of players in contention for it. And poor Marcus, I really feel for him, because you know he's got a tough pick on his hand, because. You know, also 3 of his players, you know, he doesn't get a choice as to
Well,
who he's in.
Yeah, and I believe Nick and I went over it today. The combined rankings, if if Filler holds for the European rankings, they'll take 3 off the combined rankings, and that really opens the door.
Exactly.
Yocho also holds the combined.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. If Ruslan doesn't take the European rankings, okay, if Joshua holds that, not only he's holding the combined no matter what, but if he holds the Europeans, well, then they'll take 3 from the combined rankings, and that really opens the door for, I think it was 8 players, something like that.
This is something for Josh Filler to keep in mind, maybe just trying to keep that door open for these other guys behind him.
Well...
No, don't you dare, Josh.
No.
You just do what you do and you let it all play out.
Exactly.
Killer fillers.
If I start seeing anything dodgy happening, I'm coming straight for you, Josh.
No, I don't think that'll ever be the case at all in professional pool. And I also think that quite a tough job in the selection that Marcus has.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
But it's a sweet spot to be in because he's got a lot of great players to choose from.
Exactly, exactly. And on the other side, we obviously have got Corey Jewell, who I always just impressed by Corey Jewell. He's got such an experience when it comes to obviously this game and this format and these kind of conditions as well. And I mean, everyone's petrified of Corey and his break.
Oh yeah, and when his confidence is high, just like others, but with all that experience, you know, with the combination of the confidence, he's, oh, watch out for the 9. Wow, a great effort there by Federer. Corey's definitely a man to be reckoned with.
I agree entirely.
And a big shot for him to get started here on a thin shot on the 1 from some 8 feet away. He's got to really kind of turn the cue ball loose, going up and down a little bit. He doesn't want to contact the 5. Taking dead aim. Okay, hit it well. What about that 5 ball? Okay, he's going to get by it. He's going to be super thin on the 2, and he's got to watch out for that scratch in the upper right-hand corner. I think he's thin enough. If he makes it, Michael, he'll get to the side rail, and maybe with a little check spin, hold for the 3.
Yeah, just to use that side pocket, maybe overcutting to the left a little bit.
Yeah, and that got away from him, but I think he had to sacrifice that, and he's got a nice cross-side bank that he can draw for position, maybe stun for position underneath the 4.
Or duck behind the 6 if he wishes doing so, like going on the safe route.
I like him staying aggressive here, I really do. I think position is there. I think the best players in the world, they stay aggressive. Went long. He's going to need some fortune, and he's going to get it. I think, anyways. I think he's cut him off making it. It's real close. The funny thing was he didn't really draw the cue ball for position, and I think that's maybe lack of speed on the bank is what made it spread a little bit long. And the overhead tells me that he has the 3 ball. I don't know. It's, like, again, very, very close. He's drawing the cue ball, so that says maybe he does have it. Okay, so we're definitely going to see a 4-9 that is very makeable, but also missable at the same time.
Far from being easy.
No, he could actually overcut this. This is the type you'd like to say, well, if I catch the 4 into the rail, man, it's hard to miss it. Which it kind of is. But very possible. Like,
that's an early opener for Team Russia, Federer Gorst versus Corey Jewell.
Yeah, great opener there. So 1-0 to Fedor. And the overall score so far at the moment in the Dream Challenge is 8-6 to Team USA. And it's the first to 10 points, so just 2 points away.
Yeah, Russia definitely has their hands full, but they probably have, you know, 1 of 2 guys playing right now to get them started. They have to win 4 out of the next 5 matches to steal this cup away, this Dream Challenge away from Team USA. So we'll see Corey's heart rate here soon, and you know, you can tell occasionally he's nervous, and he's supposed to be, but his heart rate really didn't get up there that bad. I think like around 110 max. Okay, making a bunch on the break. The 2, the 1, 2, and 3, and interesting enough, does he have another cross-side bank on the 4 that he's got to attack with? Okay. Now this may lead him to want to play safe after missing the 1 in the previous game. This one's definitely more off angle than the last, right, Michael?
It seems like so, Jeremy.
But does that stay in your mind from the last game, that one?
Well, it does when it comes to like a, okay, that's what I like. And that shot is eerily similar to yesterday's 9 ball that he elected to bank, that we talked about, that maybe on these tables he should cut the ball in. And I don't know if you remember, he missed the bank, but he got down with that one and smoothed it. And that'll tell you also, because the bank shot on the slick table might say, hey, after I missed one, maybe I'm not calculating them so well.
Maybe you had that covered with him yesterday, following his attempt on the bank shot.
No, actually, we went over a few other shots. For me, for Corey, all he needs is that commitment to his decision. That's all.
Do you get much, just out of curiosity, Jeremy, because I'm obviously not there when you speak to the players, but when you talk to them about some of the shots they made, do you get much kickback from them at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like the way that you say it, you're just kind of like, yeah, and we say that to them, and I feel like they just sit there and go, yep, okay, sir, okay, but they
Well,
must argue with you slightly.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Occasionally, you know, they're gonna. I want them to speak their mind
Yeah, of
because I'm not
course.
always right. That's for sure. And I'm here to learn as well. And I'm here to learn the players as well.
You know, our viewers would second me there that you seem to know everything, like every aspect of the game of pool. And
Don't
once
make his
again,
head
thank you
too
very
big,
much
Mike.
for being here with us in the commentary booth.
Well, thank
providing
you.
all the expertise.
Well, like I said, in the Houston area, there were a lot of great players, and playing all games really teaches you a lot. So, lucky in that manner, I guess.
You are fabulous, Jeremy, I must
Thanks.
say. But that's all you're going to get out of me.
Well, I
got
was
your one
lucky enough to
compliment.
play the Moscone 7 times, which is so eerily similar to these conditions.
Sure.
So when you're talking about like predicting the tendencies on misses on this, it's not so much I know Ruslan on how he's going to miss or Corey on how he's going to miss. I just know what the percentages are on the way you miss balls on these types of tables.
And so it's 1 apiece here. And this is our 3rd match of the evening. We've had our 2 doubles, and we saw Russia taking the first point of the evening with Team USA taking the second, and we are now 8-6 overall.
Okay, the 1 up in the corner, the 2's going to get pinned on the back rail. So we'll see. Federer's probably going to play some type of safety behind the 4 and the 6 and putting the cue ball probably on the right side rail, his left side rail, and the 2 ball on the opposite. You notice if you use the 6 and the 4, there's a big way to snooker them. Just put the 2 maybe half a diamond above the 8 and let the cue ball spin naturally over there on the top side of the 6 and the 4.
I like using the 4.
Yeah. Well, if you get in a certain area, you have like a 6-inch zone to snooker because the 6 and 4 are kind of, how do you say it? They're kind of helping. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Helping each other. Yeah. Now, he could go for the bank. The long rail bank is playable, but I think he would want to play the safety here, although Federer can bank the ball really well. And it looks like to me he's banking at it.
And I was just going to say that in case of a banker, he will just make that hit on the 9.
Well, he's got issues here, though. He's a little elevated. He's got a thin cut on the 3 down the rail. And does the 4, does it have both pockets? If it doesn't have both pockets, he's got a little bit of issue trying to get from the 4 to the 5. Now, the way he's going around the table makes me think the 4 does pass the 8, and that's important. Oh, does he have to go back and forth here? Oh, yeah, he does. Watch out. If he falls on the rail, things are going to become difficult. And now he's in what would be a little bit of trouble. You're going to really see some of this young man's talent here if he's able to knock this 4 in and get position on the 5.
I like trying to reposition the 4 towards the 8, maybe hoping to make it
cross corner,
right, and just driving the cue ball all the way back on the same side rail.
Well, he's got a little angle, so well, he's definitely ready for the challenge, this young man. .133 he's up at, and I'll tell you, when you make a bunch of great shots in a row, you can get the heart going.
I've just texted Marcus, Jeremy, saying, thoughts on Fedor?
Well, I'm sure there's been many already.
Oh, certainly.
Well, yeah, you want to get a young man, you want it to be deserving, of course, and there's so many great European players, but 19 years old, plays like this, you don't want to get his feet wet with the Moscone, with so many more Moscones to come.
Marcus actually did say both Ruslan and Fedor, I want them both.
Oh, wow.
Great
Too many to pick from.
Great to hear that for the Russian pool fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's gonna inspire some of the other Euros going into Austria, I'll tell you.
Oh yes, I think they all need to fight.
Emily, if your first question to Marcus was, I wonder if you are watching at all.
Oh, I know he's watching.
That's great.
He loves the Mosconi Cup too much.
Well, he's a pool fan himself, and he was a great player. I know he's been playing a little bit here and there when he gets time, so I know he, I think probably, I'm guessing, but probably 41, 42 years old now, maybe?
I'm not sure. I don't want to disclose his age. I feel bad for him.
Oh, well.
No, I'm joking.
Well, it's the ladies, you're not supposed to disclose the age, but...
So that's Fedor takes
well, you can see
the
his
rack there, 2-1.
His stats here in the Dream Challenge, 7-4 matches, plus 14, and racks won and lost. Okay, 44 years old. Well, I met, actually, I believe it was 1998. I met Marcus in California. And then from there, he just became a super solid player. Actually, that's where I met the same trip. I think I met Mika Immonen that trip. Quite a few of the Euros that end up being some of the greatest players that come from Europe were in California that trip. So Corey with a great break off in game 2. We'll see if he can somewhat repeat that in game 4.
I'd love to see Corey, have nice confidence boost here as well. And like we keep saying, he's a great player.
Well, that opening shot in second game on that cut on the 4-ball, I think. Ooh, there's that golden break. Really close. He's gonna get a starter on the 1. Again, not one that's so easy because it doesn't pass the 6. So he'll just have to calm his nerves, level out, and roll this ball in the corner. The 3 does pass the 9. So position is not the difficult part of the task. Oh, great shot. Great shot. Okay, this is eerily close to a scratch. So he may have to draw the cue ball here with inside. Can he get to the bottom rail easily here, Michael?
Frankly, I don't see the scratch being on.
Really? Okay, I think it's going to be closer than you think. Unless he eases the ball. Okay, he beat it easily. Get my eyes checked, I think, but...
Yeah, do you want my glasses, Jeremy?
Well, now he's... No, I'm good. Now he's got a nice path to come by the 6 for the 5 in the lower right. This is all, again, just about making the ball. There you go. Caught it a little thin to the pocket, so it may run a little more than he wanted, but still shouldn't be an issue. Now this is important, getting on the good side of the 6 or making a decision to stay to where you can go 3 rails off the 6. You don't want to fall in that middle zone, that gray area. Very good.
Corey has come up with several very good shots in this match so far.
Yeah, very high quality so far. Just a miss on a bank cross side that on this table here you can certainly miss.
And that's just the kind of qualities that you're looking for, looking ahead of the Mosconi Cup, aren't you, Jeremy?
Yeah, well, he knows that, of course, we do have a 2-point lead here, but he wants to lengthen that lead, and he's playing a great player that's somewhat shooting in front of him in this match with Federer winning the lag.
So that's a 2-all. Corey Djurgården taking that rack there to level him up against Fedor Gost. And we are in the 3rd match of the final evening of the Dream Challenge.
Yeah, that's very good to see Corey performing pretty nice today, because his stats so far haven't been that impressive, like winning only 3 matches and losing 8. Probably the worst numbers on Team USA when we speak about Dream Challenge only, obviously.
Yeah, but when the first 2 years of the Dream Challenge, we went to the case match. So anytime you have that, you're probably going to have some with some really nice records and some with maybe not so nice records. But
what is also interesting about Corey that so far he lost all 3 matches and with the same scoreline of like a 3-5.
Okay, Federer to break off here in game 5. And one thing I like to see for Corey is Federer staying aggressive in front of him. I think it's going to ignite Corey and keep him that way.
Also, it makes it it's a tough match for him as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and the one's going to get a little difficult again and maybe elevated over the 4. No, he's okay. So you won't see Federer do anything but stay aggressive again here on this one ball. Now, you want to hit this with a little speed, but you can't really go back and forth like 3 rails with the 8 being there. So, and the 4 ball being a little jumbled up.
I'm just hypnotized by that line of the balls on the left side of the table.
Yeah, right.
Like 8, 4, 5, and 9.
Okay, and again, there's that medium speed to where that's the one you like the most to pocket this ball, but I don't think with the 8 being there, unless he plans on running into the 8 with the cue ball, I don't think that's the speed that's going to get in position on the 2, so he may have to float this a bit. Okay, he did hit it hard. Oh, he got the hit on the 8, but it was a thin enough hit to where he's still going to get over for somewhat a shape on the 2.
Could have easily got their bound to the side pocket.
Exactly, and you know, I think he hit it with the speed because he knew the 8 was involved, so he knew there was a bit of taking some risk. But he's okay here. If he can make this and come down the center of the table, I think the 4 plays on the side. He may end up having to play a 5-9 combination to end game 5, but first things first, don't take your eye off this 2 ball. Oh, that might be too much speed there. It's going to be close. Okay, that's pretty nice.
That's actually pretty much perfect.
Yeah, the 5 actually passes the 9 with the second glance at it there. So it should be pretty much stop, stop, stop on the 4, 5, 6. Maybe a little draw on the 8 to the 9, and Federer's going to get that 1-game lead again.
Some little example of straight pull position play.
Mm-hmm. That little triangle you try to develop when you're trying to continue the run.
I always find myself like failing to find those magic triangles going towards the end of straight pull rec.
It's not easy. It takes some experience. When I first got invited to the World Straight Pool, actually the only one I ever played in, I was lucky enough to live in Jacksonville, Florida, where Jimmy Karras lived. So Hall of Famer and one of the greatest players to ever pick up a cue. And he gave me a lot of insight, but you wouldn't imagine how little the runs I made when I first started, and I was a pretty darn good player at the time. But, you know, once you get some experience at the game, it gets a little easier.
And so that's 3-2 from Fedor Gorst.
It's the first time he gets the lead in this match.
Federer?
Yeah.
No. He had the lead. He won the first game.
Oh,
Corey missed the bank on the 3.
It was just vice versa, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's kept the lead, and I think that's what I think has been so impressive by Corey. He's backed up Federer.
He's stayed on it, hasn't he?
Exactly, and that's what you got to do. You got to just know that, hey, losing the lag, you may not ever get the opportunity to win this match, but the best you can do is just keep the heat.
Yeah, so far it was like Corey getting on Federer in this chase in a race to 5.
He doesn't look too happy with himself, Corey, though, or is that just how he's sort of just calm and collected? I feel like I just want to go, come on, it's fine, Corey, don't worry.
You never find Corey like showing like being too emotional at the table.
Okay.
Not too much. Oh, watch the cue ball. And he's made one, and now a tricky little shot on the 1-5 with the 9 being there. He'll probably just dead roll this ball with that little bit of an angle. If he hits it with a little too much speed, the 1 could get underneath the 9. So here's where the nerves are huge, because I don't think he can afford to draw this. I think he's just got to dead slow roll this ball like that. Oh, he's cut it too much. So we'll see if the 9 gets involved. I think he's okay. Now he's got to come down for the 2 on the side maybe, which is not what you would prefer. You'd rather play the 2 in the corner just because it naturally takes you towards the 4. Corey's a good bridge player, so I wouldn't be surprised if he still is able to hold the cue ball for the 2 in the corner by the 6. That would be preferred. All right, that's got to go. That's got to go bit. So kind of on the 50-yard line as far as is the cut too thin. The bank's a little funny as well, cross side. He's close enough to it, though. I think if he can cut it in the side, he may be able to kill the cue ball. With, oh, no, he's definitely too much for the side pocket. I don't know. We'll see.
Using that 6 ball?
No, I think he's going to kill the ball. Heavy kill like that. Yeah, what a great shot.
Impressive.
Yeah, this is another decision. Do you go up and down the table? I think that's the right play. Just go straight up and down. That's a shot you work on for many years, meaning catching the line of the cue ball. Corey pretty calm with the heart rate, though. Good shot. And again, doing all he can to keep the heat on Federer. And Federer doing the same thing, trying to keep USA off of the heel.
What an exciting match here between the both of these two players. Just really showing the standard of play.
And of course, both of them realize very well the responsibility they're taking in this match.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of seeing that finish line for Team USA, obviously.
Yeah, they're
First
just
head.
2 points away.
2 points away, and this is Corey's first singles match. So it's the first time for him to get as comfortable as you possibly can in this event. Of course, doubles, I think the guys are comfortable with each other, but it's nothing still like playing the singles.
And there we go. And as Jeremy said, Corey Jewell just staying on Fedor's case, really, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Just leveling up 3 apiece.
Yeah, Federer wise beyond his years, but I think he can feel it, that if he probably feels anyways that if I make one mistake, it could be curtains.
And against a player like Fedor, you just cannot make those mistakes, can you?
Oh, no. Very serious Johan Rusnik right behind Corey.
And it's been nice, actually, to see, like, we've all been at the same hotel together, haven't we, Jeremy? And we found this nice little breakfast place on the corner, and there's this huge long table that's in there, and, you know, us at the team at Matchroom and as well as Team USA, we've been going in there sort of in the morning and midday, and all of us all just sitting there having breakfast together. And it's been nice to see sort of Johan with the players and everyone just enjoying each other's company, and because not in the surrounding where they actually have to, you know, speak to one another sort of thing, where it's just so natural. And I just think it really helps with the sort of the team dynamics as well, and to help them play better with one another. And,
Sure. Well, you start to trust each other more, you know, little jokes outside the pool, you know.
I actually think that was the reason that Johan Rausing realized, and in his decision when pulling his team on the road.
Definitely.
For this reason, just to develop that special kind of bond.
Okay, so another not so easy one for Federer, because the cue ball is going to have some speed. So does he naturally cut this in and go up and down the table? He doesn't want to cue this with outside English. If he puts a little left spin, I think the scratch down by the 5 is a possible target.
I think just a roll of forward stroke in motion, like going on top of the cue ball slightly will do.
Just straight high, right?
Once again, watch out for the throw effect.
Yeah, and I think it becomes more missable with straight high. I mean, I don't expect him, but normally you would like to shoot this with a touch of inside English.
Aim it a little bit thinner.
Yes, yeah, very natural, but then he might contact the 6, so we'll see. Don't think the 9 or 7 is really in play. Okay, he hit it great.
Lovely shot.
He hit it great.
So impressed with just watching Fedor play. And to be fair, I'd quite like to see him at the Mosconi Cup for Team Europe. I think he'd be a credit to the team. Obviously, he hasn't played under those kind of Mosconi Cup conditions before.
Sure. But he's spent a lot of time in Las Vegas, so you got to believe that going to America wouldn't be the problem.
Sure.
Okay, he's got to go with a high ball here, it looks like, and maybe take a chip shot on the 4 on the side. Oh, he came all the way out. And again, probably when more difficult shots are required, I think it's been easily him and SVB that have looked the most comfortable. And this is how he played pretty much last year, believe it or not. He missed one ball to kind of wake SVB up in that final match. And from there, he couldn't really do... Oh, he missed one. He missed one. He's going to get fortunate with the cue ball. No.
Nope.
So a big opportunity now. Long shot. I'm surprised he went back and forth. I thought he would just make that and come 2 rails to kind of where the 4 was at and take the little chip shot on the 5. So Corey played great. Trust what you're looking at. And he's got to put a lot of steam on the cue ball here. Watch out for the side pocket. Okay, is the 5 playable from there? We'll see. If it's not froze on the rail, I think he can cue this with a little outside English, and he's not taking much time, so that tells me this 5 is
That
very
he feels
makeable.
comfortable
Yeah.
about the shot.
He might bump the 6 though, so we'll see. Okay, no, that was up a bit. And with that ball being up a bit, very surprising to me that Federer decided to come backwards with the cue ball. He could have cut the 4 and then just went back and forth and shot kind of from where the 4 was at.
Well, you, Jeremy, know it better than anyone here in the pool room. I think that these decisions are sometimes very hard, like, to make.
All of them are, and believe me, I've blown a bunch of them when I'm out in the pit as well. But Johan and I stress that, hey, we're all going to miss balls, but the decisions you make, if you can keep your head, you're probably going to get tuned in with the table eventually. That's got to go quite a bit.
Oh, short, very short.
Well, he's close, so being accurate shouldn't be a problem. Now, if he decides to use side spin, that's when the problem can arise.
Yeah,
That's
that
what I mean.
definitely looked missable.
Well, it was side spin. He put side spin on it, so you can't judge the deflection so well. It being so close, I would have rather seen him just hit flat and let the cue ball run a bit more. Take a little more chance with the cue ball.
Well, once again, this is one of those decisions. Applying English, you get deflection. Without English, you could get throw effect.
Yes, I know. Well, he's a little on the 50 here.
Oh, that's a standard shot, once again, I believe, for any pool player.
Well, yeah, so was the 4 ball he missed a minute ago, Michael. So I'm just saying it isn't straight in. It is an exact position. Still don't expect Federer to miss it. One straight shooter. Taking dead aim.
Takes that rack there, leading 4-3 against Corey Jaw, and on the hill to potentially getting a point here for Russia.
And I think, a bit of a shocking miss, you can say that, but probably more shocking that he was light with the cue ball coming back and forth on the 7.
He had so much space with this position play on the 8.
Yeah.
And once again, that cushion rebound gives you more room, like, for speed control.
Yes. Just a bit of a misjudgment there. And
Come on then, golden break, Corey.
yeah, well, he flirted with one earlier.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he
You
did.
and your flirting. Every time you say it, I just like giggle to myself.
It was a close one, all right? Okay, hang tough, Corey. And again, not to give him the jinx, but he's broke the balls very well here. Stick to hitting them and see what happens. Made the corner ball. Nasty little kiss on the cue ball. The 8's going to clear the 2. Now he's going to have to make some shot on the 2 to get back to the 3. Yeah.
God, I'm learning so
Yeah, you
much
are.
as well, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
I'm getting so proud of myself.
Yeah, well, once you figure out it's a number ordered game, it becomes a lot easier,
Yeah, no,
right? All right, so it's sitting all right to let the stroke out. Oh, okay, he played it more conservative. A lot of people would have went ahead and put a lot on that and gotten to the other side of the 3, much closer to the 3 ball.
So he just wanted to make sure he got the 2 and then
Yeah, well, and
to have
that's
the harder shot.
exactly.
Now on the 3, maybe?
Yeah, and we'd say that getting the run started, meaning he's going to make this at a high rate as well. So no sense to take the chance on the 2. Okay, he got that one down. Perfect cue ball. Now, does the 6 pass the 8?
It sure does, Jeremy.
Okay, if it does, well then he should be able to run the cue ball in position. I think he's still got to come to the top rail, though. Okay, so this is where, from some distance, if he doesn't have a full pocket, this 6 ball becomes a bit of a tester. If the 8's covering up the hole a little bit, becomes missable. Okay, a nice stroke there, confident stroke. So I think we're going to see our first hill match of day 3. Excuse me.
Don't curse it, Jeremy. For goodness sake.
And you know what? So far, both of those players are 1 to 2 in terms of double hill situation.
You mean
Both of them-
50%? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, correct. They won 1 and lost 2 on the hill.
Oh, okay. So 1 out of 3 then. Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay, so Corey looking likely to take this rack down, and as Jeremy said, hill against Fedor. Fedor will be breaking.
And you could definitely say a more crucial point for Russia here at this hill match, but
Definitely.
a crucial one for America as well. You want to go ahead and try to get this done
As quick as possible, don't you, really?
Absolutely.
And it's funny enough, this evening they've been quite quick matches so far, whereas this one's been longer. Obviously, we get to hill, and my favourite match so far, I think.
Oh, we had a little mishap with the bottled water there from Skyler. I'm glad he caught it, or else we would have had a little cleanup.
Yeah, looking at the scoreline, the first 2 matches of day 3 were pretty much one-sided, but not at all.
No, not this one.
Wow. I have no idea. Mike, what did they just say? What did they just shout out?
It's like, come on, Fedor.
Okay. Well, I'm guessing it was something like that, I think.
You could see Max Eberle there.
I was so impressed with his match yesterday.
Big point
Just
yesterday.
like,
Big point.
obviously, a lot of people would have looked at that and gone, oh, yeah, but he made a few mistakes. But I just think someone like Max, who hasn't really had this kind of experience, to come out there and to do so well like that, and I thought it was impressive.
Is Corey going to get an opportunity here? Does a 5 get out of the way? Yes, it does on a dry break. And is there a 3-9 carom shot? It's very close.
Come on, Corey.
Now, the 2 may have him snookered. You know, the cameras fool us sometimes. And I'm looking at this 3-9 more and more, and I'm not so sure it's playable.
And the kiss is not there.
That's what I mean. I'm not so sure the kiss, although that'll fool us sometimes as well. Now, he can play the rail first here. The rail first, it's a bit off the rail, but it's one that he's a favorite to make.
And after that, he will have to deal with the carom on the 5.
You would think.
So he's called his extension there.
Now, this is where you could easily kick and stick the cue ball, meaning try to bank the 1 up and leave the cue ball behind the 2 and 5, especially when you have 2 balls there. You have a big room for error.
So you prefer not going offensive on this very shot?
No, I wouldn't mind at all if he went offensive. Not one bit. Like, okay, he didn't get it. Now, is he going to get any type of roll with the 6 ball?
Doesn't look like being so.
I don't know. It's close. Now, the funny thing is on that rail first shot is he put a lot of speed on it.
And spin also.
Yeah, and spin also. Like he was trying to get all the way back around for the 2-5 combination where, like you said, he was probably going to have to play a kiss shot if he made the 1. I expected him to shoot the 1 with a little lighter speed as well. Okay, Federer's going to shoot the 1 and go into the 5 for sure.
Wow. I found that super impressive.
Oh, yeah. Federer's always solid. And I'm not sure if the 9 is playable. He's very close to the 2. And the thing is, if you're not dead straight in, aiming when you're very close to the object ball isn't the easiest things. That extra distance between cue ball and object ball gives you a lot of information. We've seen a pure offensive match so far, but now in the case game, we may see a bit of a safety battle, especially if this 3-9 does not play. Better taking his extension, and I think that's a wise choice. The type of shot also, sometimes you get lucky and just feather the 9 going in, and you still make the 2. Oh, he missed it.
And he also solved the problem for his opponent.
Well, there's a problem with the two way on the back rail, Michael. That's the first problem.
It cuts, but there are all the good 9 feet between the cue ball and the object ball.
Yeah, but I think the way the balls lay, I like him going after the win right here. I really do. I like him going after the cut.
You've got to at this stage, haven't you, really?
Well, the safety's difficult as well, and this camera angle makes me think it's very, very difficult. So he may chip the left side of this. He may make the 9. Watch out for the 9 ball. Oh, he hit it very light. So that's got to go quite a bit. That's got to go quite a bit. Okay, it's going to get safe of the 9, you think. It's always a dangerous shot whenever you're sending the 2 down there near the money ball. If he hits that just a little bit light, he may leave a kiss shot. Now, one thing he's done is he's kept the jump cue out of Federer's hand, I'll tell you that.
I like trying to go one rail kick maybe on the left side of the 2 and just trying to drive that cue ball behind that fence, like the 4 ball and the 3.
Oh, he's got to spin it, though, a lot. Oh, he caught the 7, so nothing more than a prime opportunity for Corey Deuel. Okay, so what do you see here? I still see some issues. I see an issue with not really the 3 and 4, even though the 4 may not go by the 9, but the 7 doesn't go by the 9.
I hate to say that, but I think that Emily has just performed as an evil magician on Team Russia.
I'm so sorry, I just...
Okay, is he going to play a 4-9 combination? Because you would think where the 6 is at, with the 7 covered up by the 9, that he may have to play a combo on the 7-9. So you may see an early win here to get this point. Oh, he played it really light. That's surprising. So that means, is he going to move the 7 here, Michael, shooting the 4 on the side?
I think he has to, but watch out and hit that 7 on the right portion of the ball. But we see Corey aiming for the corner.
Oh, he tried to move the 6, I think, right there. I think he took a chance trying to move the 6. I really do.
And shot that perfectly.
Okay, he's got to pull the cue ball probably above the 6. Okay, doesn't want straight in, though. Straight in is a problem. You don't want to shoot this 7-9 combination from the rail.
Especially at Hill.
Oh my, look at this. That's a pretty, besides the cue ball being froze, that's about as straight as you can get. Now, does he draw back to play the kiss shot, which gives you an element of safety when you shoot the 7-9?
I'm not so sure about that safety involved.
I think that's what he was trying to get at. He's kind of gotten in no man's land, meaning the kiss shot isn't so easy and the combination isn't so easy either.
He's too short for the kiss shot, obviously.
I'm super nervous here. I can't even
He might
speak.
be playing safe. He might be putting him underneath the 9. Yeah, it wasn't any good, the kiss shot.
Took his chances,
Yeah,
Corey.
and the 7-8 combination is not a tough shot. Oh, yes, it is. I thought the 8 was a little closer, excuse me. So we'll see what kind of tricks Federer can pull out of his hat here. Interesting situation.
Look at Federer's heart rate in comparison to Corey
the cut
right
to
now.
the left corner is on.
Well, it's doable, that's for sure. It's makeable, you know.
The pocket probably is the blindest of them all.
Yeah, and
he's going for that one.
Yeah, he's got no extension left.
Wow. Mike, put your hands down, for goodness sake. Stop cheering. Oh, look at Federer's heart rate, and I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, way
What an
up there.
impressive shot that was.
Yeah, and I think the shot clock might have helped him, really. He had to just get down and go with his
Yeah,
gut.
just get on with it.
Uh-oh. Man, he flirted with that much more than he wanted.
And the heart rate.
Team USA. And so we got some tough matches coming up. You know, they're not so ahead of it now, Team USA, are they? They can't relax. You know, they've got to keep on it.
Yeah, and the guys, of course, Corey's, he's not going to play any more matches, so he's got to shake that off in his own way.
But he played good, you know, it's a good match against someone like Fedor as well.
He played great, but I thought he would recognize that this billiard shot was very, very difficult. Now, the one thing that he did recognize that the 7 wouldn't pass the 8. So that's a bit of what I was talking about before, that, you know, he's thinking to himself, well, maybe Federer doesn't run out from this situation if I don't make the kiss shot.
Well, once again, Corey was doing pretty impressive with his cut shots, so all the credit to him. But in terms of position play,
yeah, well, that's one of the errors. Yeah, and that's one of the difficult things out there. And it was a little unfortunate when he shot the 5 to fall so straight in on the 6. If it gets up 1 inch, a half an inch, he gets off the rail and buries that combination.
This is the point he had to take into consideration, really.
Yeah.
Just trying to go and watch that shot on the 6 once again and decide whether I fall too straight or not. What happens then?
Yeah.
Dreamchallenge 2019 – самое ожидаемое событие для любителей американского пула из России. Только что Федор Горст спас нашу команду от очень опасной ситуации. И сейчас сборная России лишь в одном шаге от сборной США. Счет 8-7. По-прежнему США впереди. И только что капитаны мне раскрыли тайну следующей пары игроков. Давайте встретим сборная США. Скайлер Вудвард. И команда России, наш самый остро атакующий и непредсказуемый Сергей Луцкер. Это самый жаркий Dream Challenge из тех, что я помню. Продолжаем.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here. 8-7 the score line. With Serge breaking off in the first game, facing Sky Woodward. He's got a long shot on the 1. He may cannon the cue ball into the 9, so watch out. Oh, he got an awful kiss there with the cue ball and really didn't deserve that with such a nice shot on the 1 to open. So ball in hand for Skylar Woodward right off of a little bit of misfortune for Serge Lutsker. Okay, and you can see how the balls broke. They broke very nice. Both guys have been breaking the balls very well. So a mistake could be at a premium. especially after watching the last match with so many breaking runs between Federer and Corey. Now Skyler, we saw in the doubles match, his heart rate was way up there, and now the opening game, of course, ball in hand will relax you, but his heart rate was way up there in the doubles, like I said, and now very calm, under 100. Okay, got a little straight on this 7. I mean, he's got the cue ball off the rail, so anytime the guys are off the rail and the object ball isn't near the rail, they can really manufacture a lot of things, whether it be drawing into position, forcing the ball a little bit, or accepting a long shot.
I think this is perfect timing for Skyler to come out and play, really.
Oh, yeah.
1 point in front, super confident, and it's kind of just like that, like I said, that perfect timing for him to come out and to take like a 2-point lead.
Yeah, well, we had commented earlier that after making a mistake, probably nobody on our team leaves it behind him better than Skyler. So after a big emotional match in the last, probably a guy, and you can see the heart rate was very calm, probably a guy that's not going to let it affect him too much. And out to a good start here at 1-0. Great statistics for him, you know, with his first year in the Dream Challenge being last year, and now pretty solid stats so far this year. Once again joined Michael and Emily in the booth.
Thoroughly enjoying my first Dream Challenge event,
yeah.
I must say.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing that helps is just how pleasant Moscow is. You know, pool, we all love pool, but when you get to come to a nice place like this as well, it really helps.
It does, definitely.
How come you were missing the previous ones, Emily? Dream Challenge, I mean?
I don't think we just really knew it was there, and it's just nice that, you know, we got in contact with Vladimir and ABN Billiards, and actually, you know, it makes so much more sense that we all work together instead of not at all as such. And so, you know, I'm ecstatic that the conversations are there, and we're sort of all working together and supporting one another, because that's what we're all in it to do.
Yeah, I agree totally. Now, he may have given up a little piece of this one ball, I'm not sure, and if he has, I don't think Serge is going to like it once this shot is over with, because not only does he have a lot of cover with the 1, he can bring the cue ball maybe behind the 8. Okay, he caught the 9. Okay, Serge has got a good kick shot here, though. If he can get in deep enough, again, this is one of them kick and stick situations. He's hitting it with a high ball, though, so I'm not sure. Okay, not a bad little play, trying to go with a high ball, and he's done really well with the cue ball and the 1.
Some early safety battle going on.
And I wonder, I think Skyler can get at a little edge of the 1, going right over the spot there with the cue ball, but can he really do much with it? Now, the one thing he could do is hit it with a lot of speed trying to get at the 1, and hopefully it cuts into the bottom rail, hits the side rail, maybe comes back underneath the 8, something like that. So, again, I think he has a little piece of the 1, but he feels like maybe the kick shot will offer or produce a little bit more fortune. Taking this extension here because it is so important. Serge with ball in hand may even shoot at a 1-9 combination that, all right, he's trying to elevate with a little spin. Is that right?
Kind of a Marseille shot.
Yeah, and he's hoping to get a little fortune here, and I think he's going to get it. Yes, sir.
Oh.
So we'll see. Maybe the jump cue here. The kick shot's not bad either. Going just on the backside of the 3. I like that better, actually. I think you have a lot of reward if you can hit it heavy. Now, the one thing is, if you don't really hit it with draw, you could glance off this one, even if you hit it heavy and go towards the scratch. Oh, he hit it great. Hit it with a lot of draw. Now it's going to check up and give Sky a starter on the 1. And a nice angle to come back across, maybe kind of like somewhere near the 3. I think it's a little too thin to draw up the side rail and trying to shoot that gap on the 6-7.
I like just going by the 3.
Yeah. And Skylar usually has a very good touch coming across the table. Like, he doesn't want to catch the second rail here. He wants to just float into position like that.
I suppose he is the current record holder for the famous yo-yo reel.
No, not the yo-yo. No, it's the wing shots from where he's got to run the cue ball back into the kitchen.
I see.
Yeah.
So what about the yo-yo?
I think that's still Ruslan at like 94 or something like that. Something incredible.
Come again, 94?
I think it's upper 80s or 94, 93, something like that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. And you talk about a drill that really helps a lot of things. I love the yo-yo.
And
that skid. That ball skid. It kicked on him bad.
That's a chance for Serge Lutsker.
Yeah, and it's hard to, a lot of people talk about the skids. Is it more on the person, the way they stroke the ball, or is it more on maybe some conditions?
It's probably the former.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to believe that's going to be light with the cue ball there. That's going to need to go. So he's going to be a bit thin on the 5. And that's from the deflection. He put the left spin not knowing, and he caught a little thick to the hole. But Skylar sometimes can get a hair short with the stroke. And when you get a hair short, you don't make the cue ball revolve quite as much, and it creates a little more friction. Now, it's hard to really define what really happens there. It's just kind of what you kind of learn to believe, I guess. Similar shot he missed in the doubles earlier, and he's made it. Actually, he scratched on the doubles earlier in that shot. So here we're seeing a little bit more of what we've seen from Serge with a little bit of a loose cue ball. And a big decision on the 6, because if he cuts it not only in the side or the corner, I think there's a scratch involved. If he hits a high ball here, he's okay. But if he cues downward, okay, he's all right. Oh, my. Okay. So Sky Woodward getting a chance to redeem himself. And the 8 appears to pass to both pockets. So really this is all about icing the 6 and getting the cue ball off the rail on the 7.
Just maybe trying to stay straight this time on the 7.
I actually would like to have a little more angle either way if it's available, but okay, great hit there. Because if you get dead straight, you're okay, but if you get just a hair off, you might be falling forward towards the 8, on top of the 8, and if you don't have a lot of angle, it might not be easy to move over on the back side of the 8.
And right now, probably drawing all the way back to the rail?
Yes, sir.
Not that much of a draw, but like a stun draw.
Right.
Is there any special reason he powered the 8-ball in?
Well, that's just his
confidence.
That's just his preference, and probably a bit harder than desired just because of the setting,
And so that's 2-0.
Yes, it is.
Skylar Woodward against Serge. And Skylar actually got deep in our World Pool Masters earlier this year in March, reached the semi-finals, but unfortunately lost to Kazakis, who obviously lost in the final to David Al-Kadi in that famous...
Yeah, long rail back on the 9.
Oh my goodness, and I was standing on the side, and obviously, I'm not a pool player as such, I was standing there, and I think it was Kachi who was next to me. And Kazakis played this, saved him, we were like, no, what's going on? Like, obviously that late into the game, you have to kind of just go for it. And then
usually,
obviously, David ended up taking it down, and crowd went absolutely wild.
Well, the thing about playing safe on the 9 is you're never going to get a snooker.
No.
He hit it as well as he could. He laid him froze on the back rail, put the 9 in a tough position. Now, is he going to get a kiss on the 7 and get a shot or not? Okay, so a little, again, Serge opened with a great shot in the first game on the 1, got an awful kiss to scratch.
I
and
like kissing off the 7 in any case.
maybe, but it looks like to me he's got to hit it with top English to do so, and he's not going towards the 2. Look, the 2 doesn't play, the 5's in the way, so a very touchy decision here.
Well, to me it looks like the tangent line between the 1 and the 7 is pointing like maybe towards like half a diamond.
Yeah, but if you hit it with draw, it's going to go through the 7 a touch, and yeah, all right. Well, he lost. Oh, I think he's okay. He may have snookered in here on the 2. It's close.
Yeah, he did, but the jump is on and the massage shot is on, and once again the one rail escape route is also there.
Well, I think Sky, if he can't see it, he'll definitely jump the ball. I think he can see it myself. I think he's got a piece of this ball where he might overcut it.
Yeah, this he is
And
staying
he's
with
just
his
elevating.
playing cue.
Yeah, he's just elevating just a sliver. So that means he's just got a sliver to go over. Great
That's
shot.
interesting to see because like recently the majority of players they take the breaker for these kinds of shots.
Well, if it's just a sliver and I have plenty of space, the object ball isn't so close, I like the full cue myself. I think you just get a little bit more consistent feel.
Even with the soft tip on?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, just a little bit. I mean, it's so easy to jump just a piece of that ball. Okay, now he's got an interesting decision.
Has he taken his extension, Skylar? Oh, yeah, he's just taken it there.
Yeah, he could bank the 2 up table, up to the top rail, and maybe play the cue ball towards the 9. He could try to soft spin underneath that 5 and 6 with a nice touch and put the 2 on the side rail. He's got a few options, actually. I don't think you'll see him like go fully for like a kiss shot on the 9. If he does, he'll play the 2 up top.
I like the going for the 9, going for the cheese.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
I'm actually applauding right here.
Yeah, and he got the 2 in a nice position, but he totally ignored the 2. He cut the 2 all the way back into the 5-6 and said to himself, sometimes you fall on it and you keep saying to yourself, man, I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's something my gut keeps telling me it looks good.
Got to go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just love it when, players do that as such, because this is why we tune in and this is why we watch this game. And
yeah.
Hats off to Skylar, because
Well,
what a fantastic
you know what,
shot.
guys? In terms of singles, Skylar Woodward is 2-0 overall, while Serge Lusker is 0-3. So he lost every single match he was involved in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Serge's defense, he's facing some tough players, and again, like, he's had no fortune in this match at all.
But then it's matches like this and performances like this from Skylar Woodward that just really cement his place on the Mosconi Cup this year.
Yes, indeed, and we had Johan. Okay,
Cue down.
So in a 4-9 that is very playable with the 6 being there. The pocket is very big, so it doesn't take much for matches to turn.
Just to look at how calm Serge remains despite trailing.
Well, I think that's okay. I mean,
I think his watch is just broken, maybe. No, I'm joking.
Or his heart.
Yeah, right.
Hope not.
Well, the 2 and 3 are next to each other, and he can play a kiss shot on the 4-9 with the 6 being there, or he can play what you would prefer as the combination. I don't see him trying to run the full rack here. I think that's actually there's more chance of making a mistake doing that than playing the early combination.
Okay.
And he's falling nice where he can just stun down. Pointed his cue kind of where he wants it.
Well, that corner pocket is pretty big for the 9.
Yes, it is.
With the help of the 6 ball.
Yeah, this one here is much harder to miss than it is to make.
Yeah, going for the combo, obviously.
Yeah, and the only way you can really is you don't want to hit it too hard and you don't want to baby it. Just a nice medium stroke, and the pocket, like you said, Michael, is I wouldn't say twice the size that it normally is, but it's a little bigger.
Driving the 4 slightly to the rail just before the 9?
I don't think so. I mean, you can. It just kind of depends on the speed you want to play. The 9's off a little more, I think so for sure. But when it's closer to the rail, I wouldn't try to do too much. Just try and hit it solid.
I do really like Serge's presence at the table. He does still remain sort of cool and collected.
Oh, yeah.
And taking the combo there, he draws that rack.
That scratch on the break by Sky, I think, was what Serge really needed to get things going.
Yeah, definitely. So it's 3-1 to Skylar so far in this singles match. And Serge with a nice smile on his face.
So you can see there all the encouragement by Team Russia to Lutsker.
They're going to need a lot more of that in order to win this game overall. If it gets to 0-0, I'm going to go out there and start cheering on Team USA, and I'm going to sit behind them. So there's no way Team USA are going to lose tonight. I'm saying that now.
Oh, boy. All right, I'm glad you're not a full-time commentator, because that was the big curse right there. No, I'm just playing. Okay, so Serge has broke the ball as well. Really, like I said, a bit of oh, he's changing sides. Looky here.
So why is he doing this, Jeremy?
I don't know, because he's made balls both times. Now he made a great shot.
Do you remember us mentioning him just being probably a little bit wrong with his cue ball position on the break, and right now he decides to change 3 days into the event.
Yeah, but if you dry break, right, after breaking off successfully twice, I'm going to feel a bit of a fool, right? I mean, he's gotten fortunate here, and it's going to be a tough rollout situation for Sky Wood, but still, that would have been a difficult thing for me to do. And where do you roll out from here? I mean, you can't hardly roll out to a kick that's so easy. You can't roll out. He's going to roll out to the jump. Now, the one thing about this jump is you cannot snooker yourself on both the 9 and the 8. Meaning, if you get behind the 9, that's one thing.
You know what, Jeremy? I think I just roll out maybe a foot towards the side pocket and just use the 7 as a cover.
And kick from there.
Because I think this way, if Sky was to take the shot, the risk of being snookered, I mean, for Lutsker, is going to be pretty low.
True. Oh, you mean if you were Serge, you would have passed it back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so a guy that doesn't mind a difficult jump, and it's straight on, but some 7 feet between the cue ball and the object ball. He's already made one great one. Hey. Oh, 7 ball. Wow. So again, Serge just not with much fortune so far, and a bit of luck for Sky. But he was trying to create a little luck. That's why, I mean, he was trying to make the 1, but if he mishit it, you can see the speed he hit the jump at, trying to move the balls around.
I think you have a saying, like something, luck rides with the experienced mind, or...
Yeah, or it can. Or
something like that?
Yeah, we have one of those, or you create your own luck as well by your good play. So the way this layout is, he may have to end up playing a 3-4 combination. Okay, this is a smart play because this naturally takes him over to the good side to play the 3. Now he may have to shoot the 3 from a little distance because I'm not so sure he can get by the 8. So he's going to have to, like you say, that little stun shot. Oh, he's going quite high on the cue ball. Is he trying to catch a piece of the 8? All right, nice shot. Gotten a little funny angle here. He's either going to elevate and draw back behind or have to go forward 2 rails and out.
I like going forward.
Yeah, that's normal.
Just once again, you could get your cue stick motion a little bit loose.
Yeah, but again, man, I'll stress it, Michael. I like to stay away. Now, he probably hit that with that's why you saw the cue ball not travel so fast. He hit it with straight high. I like to stay away from that inside English on this slick table.
Yeah, I also remember, Jeremy, like Efren Reyes being the fan of going every single rail he could.
Right.
For his cue ball position, just once again trying to hold that speed control better.
Yeah, well, you're talking about possibly the greatest that's ever played.
Yeah, he's a genius with a cue stick.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Okay, so in a prime position to get on the hill with a big lead at 4-1. And the good thing here is, don't think you have to get all the way to the good side of the 8. You can shoot the 9 from where the 8's at. Using the bridge, you can chip the 8 in and run the cue ball. don't have to take many chances here, and that's a good speed there. And you'll see him shoot the 9 from about where the 8's at.
Yeah, I suppose Sky had all of them 6 pockets for the 8 ball if he wanted.
Right, and he's going to draw the cue ball back, it appears. Maybe to the rail and out.
Just like that. Nice call, Jeremy.
Yeah, nice stroke, and that tells me he's pretty confident.
And he's going on the hill.
Okay, so that's a 4-1 to Skylar Woodward, looking extremely confident and calm out there. And like we said earlier, Jeremy, just a perfect player really to just come out and try and take this point to obviously gain that further lead and to potentially go on the hill for the overall score here at the Dream Challenge.
Yes, Skylar's a funny guy, and we talk about a lot of things. And you know, during last year, we tried to get him to slow down a little bit on some things, and he did it. And then we were watching some of the tournaments, you know, and he had a great run at the International last year. Of course, winning the Derby, a great run in a lot of events. And I watched a ton of his matches, and I was telling him, I was like, you know, hey, you are slowing down until the very end. He's like, well, when I got him, I just speed it up a little bit.
Yeah,
when I know I got him, I just speed it up a little bit, you know, or not got, you know, I think he means when he knows he's not going to make a mistake, he's ready.
For sure.
And the little guy can play, I'll tell you that.
I think he's impressive to watch, and just watching him around the table, like you said, just makes it look really easy, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, straight shooter. Johan thinks definitely the straightest shooter on our team, and hard to disagree with that. And I'll tell you, I know it's not gone his way so far in this match and the Dream Challenge overall, but Serge is a guy that's just relishing in these moments. Not sure what the issue is. It seems like there's something going on maybe with the referee.
They just needed some additional lighting,
Maybe
I
we're
think.
having some advertisement or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Because we are also live on the national TV, sports TV channel.
And just to add to that, it's just so fantastic to see other events that are live on TV as well. You know, especially in our Matchroom events. You know, we're always live to over 150 countries worldwide, and it's just fantastic to see other events also sort of following suit. And it's just, for instance, for Team USA, just having this kind of, it's bad to say practice as such because I don't want to, you know.
Preparation for sure,
Yeah,
though.
exactly, preparation.
In a race to the Mosconi Cup, 26th edition.
Okay, he's gotten one down. Cue ball got a little kiss. He's got a path to go up. Look at the 9 over the side. So
Yeah,
here,
it's not going to stay until the end of the rack, that's
they
for
may
sure.
not stay much past the first one, depending on how he wants to shoot this. He can, if he feels confident, he could shoot this with inside English and go into the 7 to hold position on the 2 and accidentally make the 9 somehow. Now, most likely he's got an up and down path in between the 4 and 7, and you don't want to apply side spin from this much distance very often. So I think he's ignoring the 9, up and down. He got behind it a bit. Did he fluke the 7 in? No.
That's a big chance for Serge now.
Absolutely.
And once again, look at how composed he remains.
And I'm going to ask Skylar about that one, because, you know, with straight English, he shoots so straight, I don't expect him to get behind the ball. But if he was trying to put a little left spin, it may have deflected on him. Man, Serge is a natural shooter, and he just got down and rolled that ball in, no problem. I'll tell you something about this 4-1 right here, with Serge breaking off in the next. Guy Woodward may only get one more opportunity to win this match, meaning Serge gets out here, he breaks and runs out, 4-3. Sky gets to break at 4-3, and, you know, and Serge gets to break if it goes hill-hill.
Do you like shooting the 4-8 to 9 combo, Jeremy?
No, not really. That's not the worst thing in the world, but the 5 goes by the 7 all the way up, so there's shouldn't be many issues here. All about maintaining, Michael. We talked about that Serge shoots pretty darn straight. Little light with the cue ball, but still should be fine. That angle, he can use the rail. The only way at this level that these guys will miss this ball is overcutting it a bit.
Like we've seen before.
Yes. He hit it thick. He hit it. Okay, it got down. But that was the ultimate of using that rail.
We all know that had the cloth been a little bit worn up, no way this 5-ball would go.
Yes.
So Serge taking that rack, trailing by 4 racks to 2 against Skylar Woodward, and it will be Serge up to break next.
And actually, Jeremy, that was the very reason I was hoping for him to go for the early combo, just because I didn't like the position of that 5-ball that much.
Yeah, but I mean, I think if Serge, not only Serge is going to succeed, any of these guys in Serge's position, you got to play the rack. You know, you got to play it. How else would you have had Ruslan play it or Federer play it? You would have felt a little more confident with things,
like,
right?
take it like that. The more shots you are going to have, the more you might be prone to mistakes there.
Yes.
Because like once it might turn into a pretty long road, you know.
Yeah, but also if he shoots the 3 and travels the cue ball an extra 5 feet to get on a 4-8-9 combination, well, he could make a big mistake there too.
Yeah, true, absolutely.
I'm in 2 minds, you know, because obviously I want Team USA to win, but I love Serge as a player.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just think he's really impressive at the table. And how old is he?
Pretty young.
21?
Yeah, he's a
Okay.
young man.
And for him to be able to just act so cool under these kind of conditions in front of these TV cameras, I'm not sure what kind of experience he
once
has
again,
previously.
he's got so many Euro Tour events under his belt.
Sure.
Well, now here's an interesting shot.
Push out, he called.
Oh, he's dead snookered then. Okay, he couldn't get at the one, so that's not going to be. Oh, see, he's giving up too much of the cue ball. When you roll out in these positions, you don't want to give up the bottom half of the cue ball most of the time. Now, don't get me wrong, this position, it may not be that big of a deal.
Well, maybe he was measuring this for himself in case.
Well, the
he
problem
gets
is you don't get it back very often. And this is the shot I may like. He's getting it back, maybe. Extension.
Extension called.
I was looking. Is there a trick shot here? Cut the 1 into the rail off the back of the 4 and slide it in off the 2? Or do you just go ahead and play the cue ball behind the 5-6? The problem with the shot clipping the 1, and if the 1 gets away from you at all, with the 2 hanging, a jump combination, even if you snooker him, is very possible. So touchy, he's got to contain the 1.
Yeah, this is not a very easy hit in terms of like a very going thin cut.
He did great with the 1 though, and that was the key to the shot. That was the key to the shot.
Lovely shot.
Here goes out the shorty for Serge.
Well, maybe, yeah. If the 3 wasn't there, I think he may kick, but you may be right here with the shorty. With the 3 ball being there, it's hard to bend the cue ball on this table, accurately at least.
With the what? You're shorty?
The jump cue.
Okay.
Your favorite, the jump cue, yeah.
I'm thinking, what are you going on about, shorty?
All right, he's going to try and bank it in. Oh, and he may have made it. Oh, man, what a good hit. So, elevated over the 2, a little funny. You got to just bury it. So, we'll see. You might say a bit of Sky Woodward's bread and butter. Some kind of shot like this under pressure, where really it's all about just making this ball. Ignore the cue ball. Great shot. Watch out.
Got the point.
And that would have been unfortunate. You just have to let it go. I mean, this emphasis is so much on making the ball. If you don't want to put a bunch of side spin or try to draw it or anything like that.
You don't see very often
the funny shot
cue
here.
ball going down to the side from this angle on diamond tables.
No, usually only at the worst moments, Michael.
As usual.
Yeah, he's going to carry into a snooker, and that's going to be a bad mistake there.
That was careless.
Well, a little unfortunate. You don't figure to hit it and get snookered, and he was really flat. But this is what I was talking about. If somehow, Skylar ends up losing this game here,
I'm not sure he has got his extension here in this wreck.
Well, he's got plenty of time, I think.
10 seconds.
Yeah, but that's a lot longer than. Once you get to playing, you'll realize it's a bit more than you think it is. Okay, kiss shot on the 9.
Definitely.
100%, because the safety is not easy. Now he can maybe the 3 goes by the 9. I don't know.
I like thinning the 3, and in case of a miss on the 9, I think you are pretty safe with the cue ball.
Are
in
you?
case it goes forward.
Are you really? Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe play the 3. Okay, so interesting to see with the 9 being there as well. When he comes down off the 5 to the 6, with the 7 being over on the side rail, you don't anticipate some problems, but the problems could arrive.
So we see Oscar's heart rate going higher after the 100.
And he got a little flat here, and this is where the 9 may be a problem, because if he goes with top inside, imagine this, he comes with top inside English, and he goes 2 rails and lands on the rail, and the cue ball's going towards the 9, he can't get to the 7. If he decides to draw it, and say he comes 2 rails and lands flat, he may not be able to get to the 7. So this is what I was talking about. Very important position on the 5, and he surely would have wanted more angle.
Well, I say just be gentle with the cue ball on the 5, trust the stroke and the English effect.
Yeah, but I'm saying just where he's at, he doesn't have to get bad position by much. So see here now, he's got problems with the 9 ball. So now he's got to predict the collision into the 9. And that was just because of the position he got on the 5.
I think going low on the cue ball, he's pretty safe. Like
yeah, but look how close he is to the rail. Look how close he is to the rail. That means elevating.
I don't see that being any problem for such a sharpshooter as Serge.
I agree.
I'm going to let you two talk that out and just see what happens here.
I just think it's a bit...
Make your bet, make your bet.
No.
It's a bit more unpredictable than we thought.
So the bank is definitely on, and he has to go for the bank, I believe.
Well, the cut's not horrible either. I mean, it's not easy, but it's very playable.
Well, from this camera, it looks
horrible. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's tough. Don't get me wrong, but you can see it's a good 2 balls above the 7.
This is scary.
Now, I would ignore the safety if I was going to go for the bank. I either play the bank.
It's great. Lovely shot from Sergio.
Yeah, so momentum changing a bit here at 8-7.
Okay, so Serge takes that rack, and now only trailing by 4 racks to 3 against Skylar Woodward.
Just look how thrilled these youngsters are in the audience.
Well, they're serious pool players, those
They're
youngsters
enjoying
are.
every minute of it.
Yeah, they'll be quiet soon when Team USA
And
win.
hopefully, they are definitely looking forward to being there in the pit Sunday.
I think so. I think they're trying to consume the knowledge as well as the emotions in the arena right now. I watched those young men play yesterday for many hours.
You once mentioned, Jeremy, that you started pretty late. What is the proper age to start cue sports?
Well, I mean, it's different for everyone, of course, because of body size, but I would suggest, somewhere around 9 to 12 years old, I think is a good age. I don't think you have to start a whole lot earlier than that. I think you can learn plenty. Sometimes when some kids start early, they develop a little bit of technique problems.
Talking of Shademan Boning, he started at 4, I believe.
No, Billy Thorpe started. He has all right, here's that dry break I was talking about. And here's where the problems start to come about for Team USA. So we'll see if Serge can do anything with this rack, and it's there to be taken. But like Billy Thorpe, he has a video of him making balls at 2 years old.
2 years old?
Yes.
Surely you can't even reach the table at that age.
Well, it's a shorter. I think there might have been a box, a little milk crate or something like that.
Or maybe your dad holding you up.
Yeah, and not shooting balls, making balls. So.
Blimey.
Okay, he's gotten the 1 down, and this is what I was talking about as far as when you don't capitalize on opportunities, sometimes things can turn. Now he's got to worry about the bump on the 3. He's going into the 3 for sure. He doesn't want it to... Oh! Ooh, okay. So if he is going to get out here, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the loudest in the room had so far for the Dream Challenge.
I think so.
And now it's the quietest all of a sudden. Oh, he hit that one thick too. Man, he's kind of squeezing them in right now.
Feeling it a little bit, maybe.
Yes, sir. Or yes, ma'am. Excuse me.
Well, she's the officer.
Well,
So yes, sir.
Yeah,
well,
I'll take
yeah,
sir.
there you go. A little salute.
Modern day and age here.
Right.
Chief Operating Officer for Metro Multisport, Emily Fraser is.
And you got nice on the 5, and the 6, 7, 8 is grouped in a sweet manner. So looks like heel to me. Got a little more angle there. Should be able to hold it for the 7 in the same side, I think. Okay, so very routine 8 and 9. He'll just fall behind the 9 for the
It's an
same
easy
pocket.
stand draw shot.
Yeah.
So Serge looking to level this up against Skylar Woodward and would be going into the final rack of this match. We are heel.
Yes, and you know, guys, speaking of heel situations, well, it doesn't look maybe that good for Team Russia because Skylar Woodward is 2-0 in terms of heel, whereas Serge Lutsker is 2-3 down. But I think the amount of those heel matches for Lutsker shows how much of a grinder he actually is.
Well, yeah, and you know, you don't expect it to continue. You expect a little fortune at some time or another, and the most important thing, he gets to shoot first.
Yes, he is the one breaking on the hill.
Yeah.
Come on, Skylar, don't look so unhappy.
Well, unhappy is one thing, but he knows, like we just talked about, that he's got to wait for his opportunity, and that's the most unsettling thing.
But he's the kind of player that he will be the one that will take full advantage of any opportunity that gets given to him, won't he?
I think so.
It's getting very rowdy in here.
We will rock you.
So, Mike, you obviously don't have a great singing voice, do you?
All right, Serge to break off here. Sticking to that right side. He made a ball in the last, but...
I'm loving watching Serge play, but I've never hoped for a dry break so much in my life.
Golden break.
No.
Come on.
Oh, well, that would bring the house down. Oh, I don't see anything yet. I don't see anything yet, Team Russia. What's the 4 going to do, though? What's the 4 going to do?
What does he do here, Jeremy?
Oh, man, this is a tough rollout situation. He may have to roll out to some kick on the 1, trying to maybe fluke the 3 in the corner. Very difficult to roll out to a piece of the 1 without Serge taking the shot. You're not going to roll out to an offensive shot, like an open shot of any sort, unless it's really difficult. If he rolls out over there, Sky knows he's taking the worst of it. I like him pushing out towards the 4 to where he can just kick at the side rail. And I say that's maybe silly, but you know, he rolls out to the side rail where he was looking, he's never getting it back. Okay, he's going to roll out to a thin piece here. That's not the worst, because you're testing what Serge knows from here under the pressure. Because anytime you roll out to just a piece of the ball like that, you know, it limits options.
Okay.
So you really have to have some good knowledge on what to do. He's gotten it back immediately, and I think he can draw the ball. I think he can get enough of the 1 to knock it around a little bit. The key here is don't try to knock it around too far. Maybe you get him up behind the 2. He went for the kiss shot. Serge is going to get a prime opportunity to steal this match and level our dream cut at 8 points apiece. Don't really see a whole lot of issues. He's got to get from the 5 to the 6, obviously. That's a little bit of work. actually Skylar was trying to kiss that ball off the bottom rail and then off the 3 into the corner, so taking a chance at winning. Now this is where applying that left English is important, meaning you have to really hit it pure. You don't want to get thin on the 4. You want to get pretty heavy on the 4. And this is what I was worried about if he didn't have control of the cue ball. Right there. That's why the left English is so important right there. That way you don't get in trouble.
Obviously a very careless shot by Serge, and this option was definitely overseen by him.
Yeah, well, that's where you can't be afraid of maximum left English on this slick table. If you just put a little bit, it really doesn't grab that much. So he's got to watch out for the foul. He's pretty fortunate that the 5 is opened by the 7, I believe. So if he comes across and gets short side, he should still have a play.
It's so easy to get that nasty curve in the cue ball being jacked up.
Oh, he should put straight English, I mean. All right, so what looks like probably one big shot away. Of course, he's got to get back there, but then also he can't get back there too much and fall straight, maybe on the rail on the 6.
So it's currently 8-7 to Team USA overall here in the Dream Challenge. And Serge looking to take this level.
Doesn't get the draw. Watch out for the 8. Oh, he's missed it badly, and he's going to get some fortune, though. And the fortune kind of turned around as this match went. He didn't get much at the beginning, Serge didn't. Not saying that Skylar got lucky or anything, but Serge didn't have any luck. And as this match has gone on, it's kind of changed a bit.
So that's an important thing to remember, just because that luck factor levels in the end.
Well, not always, but you have to... oh, great shot there.
Watch out the scratch.
No, yep. So there you go, as far as the misfortune again. Definitely changed. So we've got 5-ball out here. Hard to have. Wow, he came eerily close to the. Watch out for the straight in here. Watch out for the straight in. And there it is.
What do you mean?
Meaning when you don't have much angle, now it may be difficult to get close to the 7, so he may have a bit of a tester. He's got a great stroke, so moving the cue ball might not be that tough. Okay, he did well. And he had a bit more of an angle than the camera let on.
Do we know who's up next?
Yes, well...
Are we allowed to say?
Only the captains, I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Is he going to get fortunate again, though?
Don't think so.
Well, okay. All right, so Sky's got to regroup, and that's the reason why you have to stay so positive even after mistakes or big moments.
That's a nail biter, this wreck is.
It's definitely an exciting match, I must say.
Yeah, he's left a swerve shot.
Is it just super tense for these two players out there? They're just...
Well, yeah, absolutely. And you know, like I said, it gets funny sometimes, meaning, you know, Sky thought it was over, Serge thought it was over, Serge thought it was over, Sky thought it was over, so... Oh, he's aiming long.
Kowski get the roll again.
No! Wow.
Wow.
You'd think 9-ball pool isn't drama, I'll tell you. That's amazing. And again, the tides turned again. Sky missed the 7, got a little fortunate. Serge made a great kick shot just to get at the 7, double kissed it in and scratched all the way up the rail.
Wow. What a match. And this is what we like to see, isn't it? So Skylar Woodward takes that 5-4 against Serge. And credit to Serge there, because he really played impressively. And so that leads Team USA 9-7 overall here in the ABN Billiards Dream Challenge. It is the first team to 10 points.
That's
Team
just
USA.
unbelievable, unbelievable, Emily. I was almost sure that Serge Lusker is going to turn this contest into a race to two. Like making it all level at 8 apiece, but no such a chance.
Well, that could have really just, you know, thrown it into a whole new mix. You could have gone 8-all for overall, looking at both teams making sort of 2 points to take the win here for the cup, and now we've got Team USA just 1 point away from victory. And it will be interesting to see who we've got up next and what sort of matchup and what player could potentially win this for Team USA, because what a confidence boost that is, just obviously heading into the Mosconi Cup. But what a great match, and you know, that's what we look for in this sport.
So what is your pick, Emily, if you were the captain for both teams, USA and Russia?
Is there any restrictions? Can I just pick whoever I want?
Yeah, sure.
Whoever.
Jeremy?
I would be picking, I'd be sending Shane back out there, or I'd let Skylar go back out. Back to back off of that. I know he had a tough match.
I'm not sure they are allowed to play more than once, yeah.
Sure, that's why I wasn't sure what the restrictions were. So I feel like I'd be commenting on something I'm not too sure about, but so it'll be interesting to see who the captains have picked.
That's for sure.
And what an intense tournament we have so far here at the ABN Billiards Dream Challenge.
Yeah, we've got 2 hills in a row.
Exactly, and we started off with 2 quite quick matches. And then it followed with the singles obviously being quite tight.
Выбор капитанов. Давайте поприветствуем. Сборная США.
Billy Thorpe playing for Team USA. And he could potentially win this for his
И сборная России. Руслан Чинахов.
He's just 1 point away from victory, and he will be taking on Ruslan.
Наши ребята нуждаются в вашей поддержке сейчас как никогда. Удачи.
Very high up on the Mosconi Cup Team Europe ranking points at the moment, and obviously Billy as well in contention for Team USA. So pressure is on for both of these players. I think Billy's going to be looking, you know, to impress both Jeremy and Johan for the team selection. I mean, if he wins this point to take his team to victory.
Yes, and some early stats to you guys in terms of being involved in singles. Billy is 3-0, so he won everything, whereas Ruslan is 0-4 down in this department.
Okay, that's interesting. So both players taking the lag here, and in this race to 5 format, the lag is extremely important. So Ruslan will be breaking here for Team Russia.
Yeah, and I think a very interesting match, of course, for the American team to try and win this, and for Billy to get some more time in these kind of settings. But with Russia in a bad spot, you would think needing 3 straight points. I think Marcus might really be watching this match, see if Ruslan can
handle this kind of pressure.
Yeah, and hang tough, and you know the back's against the wall, and a dry break to start.
I was just saying how important this match is, especially for Billy, because it is that kind of confidence boost for him to potentially make the Mosconi Cup team.
Yeah, and a big decision here to start. You may look at chipping this one and running the cue ball. The offensive shot is not sitting so nice, being jacked up. So decisions. I like chipping the one and running here like that. I think that's a smart play, Billy. I I think that's your percentage play. You got a lot of balls to get behind.
Just behind the 9.
Yeah, but that's a good sound decision. You know, you can get ahead of yourself up 9-7. Your opponent just broke the ball, so you figured, let me try and steal one on their break with a great shot on the 1. But he showed his wisdom at a young age, in my opinion. So Ruslan is a guy it's tough to kick on this table, but very well-rounded player when it comes to a 9-ball pool. So I expect him to make a pretty solid hit on the 1. And he knew if he caught the side of it, a lot of good things could happen.
And he's covered by the 5.
Yeah. And Billy should get at this, and again, with all this congestion, Billy should come to the top rail, come behind the 1, and take his chances sending the 1 down there near the 3-7, 2-9, 6. Now, it doesn't have to work out, of course, but he's got a good chance for things to work out that way. And I like him taking a little extra time, even though he knew the route he was going. Solid hit. And again, he may have cut Ruslan off from an offensive opportunity. Now, do you like just putting the cue ball over on the side rail behind the 4 and letting the 1 come up near the, what was it, the 3 and 7, something like that?
I would have preferred the 6 ball wasn't there.
I don't think he'll ever touch the 6. Yeah, just
this case, you could drive the 1 ball all the way back and
Oh,
just
maybe
try
bank it.
to hide behind the 2 or the 7.
Okay, this is an interesting kick shot. If you're really comfortable, you can kick to this bottom rail with a little spin, come into the 1, and you have a good chance to snooker him with the 7 and the 3. Now, the thing about that is you have to play it with a light speed. Sometimes you end up looking like a fool after the shot because you get up underneath the 1 and you don't get a rail and you give up ball in hand, but it's just the chance you have to take. So this should be a light speed here somewhat anyways. It's all about judging it correctly. Like that. He didn't get a rail with the cue ball unless yeah, so that's going to give up ball in hand. That's not so much of it like a real mental error or anything. It's just a chance you have to take. Oh, man. Did a little wide, and that's that when you add that speed, the ball cuts very easily.
And even overcuts sometimes.
Yes, it does. We saw him miss a 6 ball yesterday, and that he had to apply some speed, and that's just what happens. Now, this is a funny shot because does the 3 go by the 7 in either the side or the corner? If not, he's got a little bit of issues trying to get position.
Not that much sure about going to the side.
Okay, trying to get lucky a little bit. You can see the shot clock got on top of him. End up actually pretty decent to float the set 3 in the side and fall for the 4. Hit it thick. Looked like he miscued actually. Immediately kind of stood up and adding right spin. I like Billy letting out a stroke here and trying to draw this ball back. I'd like to get the replay also. 3 ball.
It's not very often you see those top players miscuing on this kind of speed with the cue ball.
Yeah, but he was putting a heavy right spin trying to kind of cheat the angle on the 3.
Well, Ruslan at times he hits that cue ball so far from the center. I think the farthest of them all Russian players.
Yeah. Okay, so you can tell by the hit on the where the cue ball ended up that definitely Billy didn't quite strike it like he wanted. Because normally at least you would draw the cue ball back to the bottom rail. Now this is interesting. If he falls funny here, this may be tough to get position because of the 6. Right?
And it sure is.
Yeah. He's going to have to take a little distance on the 5. Not only if he tries to put this with more speed, You wouldn't think he would tie the 6 and 9 up, but if he brushes the 6 just enough, he could put it in a funny position.
I believe he's drawing it.
Okay, but still the same thing. Yeah, like, all right, so now he's got the 6 in a funny position with the wrong angle on the 5.
Of course, Jeremy, you know this draw shot drill, like Mighty X, like Johan
I know
calls
it very well.
Yeah, and Ruslan, once again, believe me, he is the best here to making these draw shots. But we managed to see that he's got some angle, like some cut to the right.
I'm not sure the draw is really the best plan here. I think he's going more towards the side. Okay, I think he's kept Billy off of the offensive play. So a bit of a scrappy game here to start. Now, if Billy feels good about it, he can float this in with just a little bit of inside English and take a little bit of a cut on the, what would be the 6.
Quite a tense game for both these players here, because Ruslan could effectively be the player that loses it for Team Russia as well. So kind of not surprised that it's a little bit scrappy to begin with.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate in sports. We remember the last 2 minutes of a football game, and we remember the hill games always, or the one that loses the overall match. But there's so much more involved as just like the Dream Challenge, for instance. Yeah, nice cleaner stroke there. Anytime you're applying that much outside English and you handle the swerve of the cue ball on this slick table, that means you're really hitting the cue ball precise.
And that's the most important thing to do, as the game of pool is all about that cue ball control.
Absolutely. Yeah, nice speed there, not only holding the angle, but off the rail with the cue ball, so he should come back. He's got a choice here. He can go with high English, or he can come back to the rail where his hand's at now.
Just entering that position zone nicely, coming into it.
Yes. And it's a very natural, fun way to shoot the ball.
And so Billy Thorpe takes the first rack here, 1-0 against Ruslan. The overall score so far is 9-7 to Team USA, so this could potentially be...
Yeah, no.
I won't say it.
And this was actually the early break of serve.
Yes, it is. I was just about to get at that. He's taken away the lag, losing the lag here in the first game. Now, Billy's a guy that's got all the tools. I mean, of course, experience, he needs more of that, and he'll admit that. And, but as far as breaking the balls, power shots, cut shots, we all know how he banks the ball.
Once again, we see the numbers.
Singles
Billy is a 3 to nothing actually in terms of singles going into this very event.
Well, and with a -1 overall games, that shows you that sometimes, you know, even though he's got a winning record, but it also shows you in the most crucial moments when the matches were close, he was able to cross the finish line. Oh, there it is.
There's the 9.
There it is.
There's the golden break.
Emily Fraser is so happy.
I love a golden break.
And it was the only one down. So after a few mistakes in the opening game, some punishment there for Ruslan, and I don't know if you could say it was deserved, but definitely applying even more pressure.
Certainly.
The great player from right here in Moscow.
And something like that really just gives Billy that extra confidence, really, just, you know, to help him relax into the match, and it's good for him here.
Rack number 3, Russia to break. Trailing 2 racks to 0.
Booth. Okay, here we go. Okay, and you know, we had Serge go to the right side there and have a few dry breaks. Now this is one, is Billy gonna pop this bank in? is sitting like perfect as far as just like straight in.
Oh, just do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. He's winding up
go
like he
for
is.
it.
He's not thinking about a safety at all. This is going to have about medium firm speed. Stun the cue ball forward a little bit. And there you go.
That's a beauty.
Yeah. And the thing about Billy is he decided to shoot it with a little cover on the cue ball, stunning it forward. But so he made a hair of a cinch decision with the cue ball, but he didn't make it with the stroke. And that's the key to making great shots. Okay, so here's a very important shot from the 3 to the 4 to the 5, or a sequence rather.
It's important he just takes his time here, Billy, isn't it? Not to sort of
and we
get too
discussed
rushed
it
into it.
after yesterday, and we talked about it in the booth, is the key to building a routine is, even on the easy ones, take that extra time.
Exactly.
So he wants to kind of come between the 7-8 here. The problem with that is he could fall kind of straight on the 5. So a little element of risk here as far as not making the ball and not making the 5, but getting at that 6 later on. Okay, he went behind the 7. He's going to get a nice little bump, I think. I think he's okay.
Okay. I can't help but I just tilt my head to try and look to see how
I
the
still
position
do it,
is.
actually, but knowing that it isn't going to give me any better of a look. And I think he planned on going behind the 7. That kept him off the rail and kept him not straight in. So straight down the table, most likely. Maybe using the side rail. It's up to him. Okay, so really out quickly to what should be a 3-0 lead and breaking the balls off in game number 4.
My thoughts exactly, Jeremy, but I didn't want to say it too soon. It's good to see this from Billy in this match because he hasn't exactly had it so good so far in the Dream Challenge, has he? And
no.
To just finally get out there and just feel a little bit more confident, more comfortable.
Yeah, in the last 2 or 3 games last night, he looked a lot better. I mean, it's I don't know if you know, Shane had said something to him. Shane was texting me during the match saying some comments about things we need to work on with Billy, and
it's good to get that sort of feedback from Shane, isn't it? To just show that he's obviously interested in his performance, and
you never know, maybe a future one-day captain of the Moscone Cup.
Potentially.
Yeah, like 2045 or 50, probably something like that. When he's finally done winning.
Yeah. So that's 3-0 to Billy Thorpe against Ruslan, and he will be breaking next. And again, so in this Dream Challenge, it is a race to the Moscone Cup for Team USA, and like we keep mentioning, Jeremy, the pressure really sitting on these players' shoulders, and especially Billy in this match here, because they're looking at their future Moscone Cup this November, the 25th in Vegas.
Absolutely, and 2 will be announced next week. I'm sure that yourself and Matchroom Multisport will keep everybody informed on when and where that might happen.
Yep.
But it's going to be exciting news no matter what, and it's going to be starting to put the pieces together for our 2019 Moscone Cup.
Definitely, and there's nothing more than nearly selling out your tickets before both teams are fully announced. I mean, that's quite impressive in itself, and just shows the level of this tournament and how the direction it's going in.
Yeah, and it's in America this year, and you know, a big win for us last year, but you know, with it falling on Thanksgiving week,
Oh,
you know.
don't jab at me for that,
Well,
Jeremy.
no, it's not your. I know it's not your fault. It's no one's fault. It just is what it is. But people were alarmed at first, and you know, okay, what's gonna? Looks like the 8 ball's in, and the cue ball's gonna sneak by the 2. So again,
shot on the 1 there.
yeah, great shot on the 1. Yeah, now there's 3 past the 5. Okay, the 3 goes in the side. Now with the angle on the 1, this is where you may play position on the 2 in the lower left. That way you can slide over naturally for the 3 in the same corner.
Yeah, I like that.
But the way he looked at it, it makes me think the 3 does go by the 5, in between the 9 and the 5. So he'll move up for the side pocket. Let's see if you end up a little short with the 7 and that other traffic there. you got to start to manufacture position.
Well, in this case, the other side pocket is there for the 3-ball.
It is, but the 6 is in the way to get kind of straight in, you know, so he's going to cheat it here, I think, like that.
Great shot.
Yeah. There you go. Take that extra time. That's what this is all about. That's becoming a professional, in my opinion. You look at all sports, it doesn't matter what it is. And when they have the chance to take their time, they do so.
And what's good here as well is that it is very, you'd be quick to think that when you're up against it and you're heel to win the event, to put someone like Shane Van Boning out. But it's nice to be able to give these other players the opportunity to, you know, take that victory as such. And
oh, for
in
sure.
the Mosconi Cup, the format doesn't allow you to, you know, kind of do that. And it's good to put these players under that pressure.
Absolutely. And that's the main word about all this is pressure. That's what keeps us playing. That's why we all aspire to play in the biggest events we can, whether this, you know, watch out for the spin, he's okay. But you have levels, you know, you start out as an amateur, then you go up to a little bigger amateur event, then a little better one, and then you start to maybe dream about getting in a pro event, and you win your first match, and that's not the easiest thing to do.
And full credit to these players, because I wouldn't be able to be out there under this kind of pressure, especially in a team event as well. It's not just you that, you know, this is on. This is your other 5 members of the team for Team USA and obviously and for Russia as well.
Yeah,
it's
well,
tough.
Billy's looks like a 4-0 lead is definitely secure here in this match, and you know, I don't want to talk too soon. It's going to be difficult for Ruslan, but
yes, Billy is on the heel, and right now Ruslan is going to come up with his 3rd break of this match. Previous 2 attempts, he was dry so far.
Yeah, so that alone. But what I was getting at was I'm really proud of the team that everyone contributed here. You know, Max only got to play 1 doubles and 1 singles. He's had a bit of a struggle. Not a struggle, he missed a 10, and the table on the scratch on the 4 kind of got away from him. That's being unfamiliar.
Yeah.
But then he sure did come back in a big moment last night against arguably the best player on Russia's team.
Jeremy, do you think being in Vegas could be a factor, like in terms of affecting the players on the US squad?
No.
No, I don't
like
think
some distraction or whatever.
You haven't seen the security we've got assigned to the team.
No, and that, and I think also
they're just different now, aren't they?
Yeah, and that win last year.
Mentality.
Yeah, they've matured and they've experienced that win as a team, and it's the one thing is you only obviously get a couple times a year to do so. So if you're not wanting to take full advantage and put yourself in the best spot, well, you're missing out.
It's a great break by Ruslan, but I don't think the 2-ball passes the 4.
And if it does, it's tight. That's for
Definitely
sure.
not.
Well, he's not wasting much time, so.
Well, once again, the overhead camera seems to be like fooling us.
Yeah, it's hard. Okay, so a 6-9 most likely of some sort, whether it be a kiss shot, glancing off the 6 and making the 9, or a combination. It all depends on what kind of position he draws on the 5 to get there. Okay, now is the side pocket in the way? It's eerily close to try and fall all the way down for the combo, meaning trying to move the cue ball. Should hit before the side, is that right, Michael, it looks like? Yeah, before the side and then go all the way down.
Yeah, right. He went for the kiss, no?
No,
No,
he's good.
It does look like so, yeah.
But the thing is, he had to apply speed to get to the rail before the sides to secure not hitting the point. So going past the combination was a very possible thing.
Point on the table for him, and he's trailing by 4 racks to 1 against Billy Thorpe. And it will be Billy to break next.
Yeah, we've seen a golden break, a break and run. So Billy's been very successful, not only on Ruslan's breaks, off of his breaks, but on his own as well.
If anything goes wrong, Billy has got at least 2 attempts to seal the deal
Yeah.
on his break.
Yes, he does. And that's generally like when you play the alternate break format in regular pro events, let's say like, you know, whichever event you want to pick, if you get yourself against this kind of fields, these kind of fields, this kind of class of players, if you get yourself in position to have 2 breaks to win the match, you've probably played not only a great match, but you've kind of ideally put yourself where you want.
Yep, that's a fair point.
Okay, and that's the Dream Challenge Cup that we're playing for, and man, what a beauty.
And I hope some of the European players are sort of tuning in and watching, seeing, you know, what they could potentially be matched up against come this November. And it's not going to be an easy match or tournament.
No, I expect our guys to get better. I expect them to become even more so of a team every day. He's going to get a nice starter on the 1, so it looks like the 1 to the 2 to the, well, the 4 to the 5 now. You could get a little out of line there. But he should bump the 5 off the rail a little bit right here, huh, Michael? Drawing towards the 2?
You know, right now I'm more concerned with the 6 ball, honestly.
No, it goes easily. It goes easily.
I mean, just not trying to mess with the 8.
Right.
Which is next.
Okay, he had dodged the 5, which is, you know, that's fine. There's no reason to move it, but it may have been a little bit of a helper. That froze ball on the slick table sometimes can be a little bit funny. The key here is recognize you just got to get back to about where you're at now. You ain't got to come all the way back. And that's good line. That's
and
good
he
line.
also was hitting this with some left.
Yeah. Well, some players actually cue the ball not exactly where they're hitting every time, you know what I mean? So like a Bustamante, he's way off the cue ball every time. He's a little more extreme than most.
And it's good to see that even in this position here, Billy remaining so calm. You can see with the heart rate there that it's, you know, just sticking at 100.
Well, he wants to get an angle. Doesn't get an angle, you may see him draw the cue ball all the way back up to the end rail, and I don't mind that, really. I would like to not be thin on this 5 ball with it being on the rail. Go ahead and let your stroke out. The ball draws nice and easy. Slow down now. You don't want to be straight in either. That should be enough. This is where he needs to take a look. Just draw back over the side pocket and take a little cut on the 6. That offers you a 1 rail position easily to the 8. So you don't have to get off the rail that much. Just come back, like I said, about the side pocket. Yeah, that's perfect right there. And you can see the 1 rail cushion going from the 6 to the 8.
And this is the kind of match that you want to see, Jeremy, being the coach for Team USA.
Oh, absolutely.
That this is the level of play that these players are coming out and doing under these conditions and under such pressure to take, obviously, the victory for Team USA here at the Dream Challenge.
Yeah, and the first game was a bit of a struggle between these two, but then Billy cleaned it up quickly, and that's the type.
Well, it just shows that fire that you were mentioning earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah, everybody's going to make mistakes. It's how you recover.
So here we are. For all you USA fans, this is the moment you are all waiting for. And Jeremy's going to be running out there to go and celebrate with his team. And Team USA take down the ABN Billiards Dream Challenge with a final score of 10-7. And what a victory for this team, and what a confidence boost for Billy Thorpe, who is the player who has taken that down for his fellow teammates, and looking very strong ahead of the Moscone Cup coming up this November the 25th in Las Vegas.
And we encourage We just would like to encourage our viewers to stay with us, because we're going to be showing the awards ceremony live, and after that some highlights and hopefully live interviews with the players and both captains, I hope also. So please stay tuned.
И я приглашаю для вручения Кубка Dream Challenge 2019 генерального директора клуба «База» Сергея Степаненко. Дорогие друзья, хоть наша команда и не победила в этот раз, это был настоящий праздник бильярда. Огромное спасибо клубу «База», организаторам, блестящая ABN Billiards, нашей трансляционной команде. Я уверена, что мы с вами еще увидим много красивого бильярда на канале «Матч Страна». А Dreamchallenge 2019 прощается с вами. Спасибо, что были с нами. Окей, мы готовы к интервью? Опс.
Where you going?
Okay, Johan, that was just a simple match, looks like.
Ну что, Йохан, похоже, матч был очень простым.
Well, I think you saw a different event than I did. I mean, we got incredibly lucky in the match of Sergey where he scratched on Hill, which is incredible. Actually, I never saw a scratch like that. So, you know, that made it like a 1 point difference. So I think we got away with it. And, you know, in the last match was a good match. So, yeah, happy with that.
Даже не представляете, какой он был на самом деле сложный. Достаточно вспомнить ту контровую партию, где Сереж забил восьмерку, и потом у него упал биток, так что нам просто повезло. Но последний матч получился очень хороший, мы хорошо сыграли, так что...
Of course, we need to thank ABN Billiards and Baza for his incredible tournaments for the third time now, and especially Mr. Nikolaev. He done a great job, great arena, great setup. Great audience, all the Russians were here. We didn't have all that much support, but we came through. So.
Ну и, конечно, хотели бы поблагодарить клуб «Базы», ABN Billiards и лично Владимира Николаева. Спасибо за прекрасную организацию, прекрасную аудиторию. Все сделано было по высшему разряду.
So I can understand that wasn't a simple match. What can you tell about your Russian opponents?
Да, я понимаю, что матч был непростым, но что ты можешь сказать про своих оппонентов из России?
Well, when we started the first year, you know, there was a little bit of resistance from America, like, you know, who's Team Russia. But, you know, it was 2 times Hill. This time again, they made it very difficult for us. They're a great team, they're great players, especially it's a young team, so they're a very big prospect for the future. And I wish them all the best, and I definitely think we'll meet again.
Да, моя команда не знала всех игроков, и вы видели, что матч получился очень непростым. В последний день 2 матча закончились со счетом 5-4 в контровых партиях. У России прекрасная команда, особенно очень молодая команда, у них большое будущее. Я уверен, что мы в скором времени снова встретимся и сыграем снова.
Thank you, Johan. I wish you good luck defending Mosconi Cup.
Thank you. See you next year.
Ох, Алан, ну похоже, нам придется с тобой поговорить про какую-то череду неудач.
Oh, Alan, looks like we are gonna talk a lot about bad luck.
Ну, во-первых, я бы хотел, чтобы все еще раз поаплодировали моим ребятам. Потому что сегодня они играли очень такие матчи, они показали свой характер. Они практически заставили команду, американскую команду ошибиться. И они ошибились, но опять же какой-то случай. Но этот случай, есть надежда, что он когда-нибудь закончится. И с тем же настроем, с которым они играли этот матч, все сегодняшние матчи, этот турнир в целом, плюс решения, какие-то выводы правильные, они дадут, безусловно, другой результат. Я буду в них уверен до конца, до последнего дня.
Well, first of all, I'd like everybody to thank my team, my guys. Once again, they've shown their character today, their strong character. They almost made the American team to make fatal mistakes. We almost got them, but you know the chances sometimes are in your favor, sometimes they're against your favor. Well, I'm sure that we are going to make very important conclusions after this match, and the next time we're going to play better and definitely win.
Алан, спасибо, и мы еще раз поздравляем тебя и Леночку с первенцем.
Спасибо, ABN. Спасибо всем вам за поддержку.
Федор, ну все мы помним сегодня твой сумасшедший матч. И ты знаешь, кстати, что многие болельщики уже собирались вызывать скорую. У тебя был пульс 158 ударов в минуту.
Well, I'm sure everybody is talking right now about the crazy match you played, you know, and some of the people, some of the fans, they're gonna call 1-1-2 because your pulse, it was just rolling.
Of 10-7 against Team Russia, and on behalf of ABN Billiards and Diamond Products, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in to this wonderful 3-day event.
Well,
yes,
my
thanks everyone. We would like to thank
about
every
110,
single
120.
pool
Yes,
fan
of course I was
out there,
nervous. It was very difficult.
staying
Well,
with us
it's
throughout
great
these
that
3 days,
I
and
made
we
that
would
ball
like to
and I
bring
won.
some more action to you, the pool community. So
Федор,
once
ну,
again,
жизнь
thanks
профессионального
once again.
игрока — это постоянное движение, постоянный турнир. Я знаю, что уже сегодня ночью ты уезжаешь на следующий. Расскажи подробнее о своих планах, пожалуйста.
The life of a professional pool player, you're going to travel a lot, and you know that tonight you are going to your next tournament. Please tell us a little bit more about that.
Да, мы должны уезжать через 15-20 минут в аэропорт. В Любляну летим на турнир, называется Любляна Open в Словении. Я и Макс будем стараться дальше.
Well, yes, true. We are leaving in about 15 to 20 minutes, and for the airport, we are going to Ljubljana. We are going to play at a tournament which is called Ljubljana Open, me and Max, and I hope that we are going to show a good game there.
Что ж, желаем удачи, good luck. Max, I must say that you are one of the hero of this Dream Challenge, because everybody you didn't expect of you those winning match against Fedor Gorst.
Тебя, безусловно, можно назвать героем прошедшего поединка, потому что ты действительно сотворил чудо. Мало кто ожидал, что ты сможешь обыграть Федю Горста.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a great match for me. I know he's a great player, and I knew I was going to have to play great to beat him. And I was just happy that I came out and played good in that match. And it came down to that crazy kick shot where I made the ball and then was able to run out. And I'm real happy to be on this winning team. These are all great champions, the USA team and the Russians. These guys are amazing. And this country has a great future for pool. We got a 10-year-old kid back here and his brother who's 8, and they play great. So my hat's off to Russia. It's a great country, great people, and it's an honor for me to be here and play here. And I'm real happy to be part of this whole event.
Да, действительно, здорово, что мне удалось выиграть. Я знаю, что Федя очень сильный игрок, и я понимал, что мне нужно показать свою лучшую игру, чтобы обыграть его. В решающий момент я очень рад, что все сложилось удачно. Я забил тот удар от борта, и после этого собрался, довел дело до победы. Вот. Я хотел бы поблагодарить аудиторию, прекрасная публика, прекрасное место, прекрасная организация. Знаете, у вашей страны большое будущее. Вот тут рядом есть мальчик, 10-летний мальчик с братом, и он показывает прекрасную игру. Так что у вас все впереди. И я очень рад здесь находиться. Еще раз спасибо большое.
Max, thank you for those wishes.
Anastasia, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I hope to be back next year and many more times.
Thank you, Max. Thank you. Сереж? Готов? Okay, Corey? So, Corey, what were your expectations for Dream Challenge 2019?
Кори, каковы были твои вообще ожидания Dream Challenge 2019?
Well, we were hoping to, just play well and try and win this, and those guys did a great job. Last 2 years it was hill, so I figured it would be another tough contest, and it was. And the Russian team played very good, so a few unlucky things happened at the end, or else it would have been close again.
Ну что ж, да, мы ожидали напряженного поединка. Последние 2 раза все закончилось в решающих матчах, и мы ожидали, что это действительно все будет сложно опять. Ну, я рад очень, что наша команда снова выиграла. Да, команде из России в некоторые моменты не повезло, но что поделаешь, ну, такое случается.
Thank you, Corey. Good luck for Mosconi. Jeremy? So, Jeremy, what is your analysis as a coach for this Dream Challenge?
Какой анализ ты бы дал этому Dream Challenge как тренер?
Well, first off, Russia's got a bright future. I love to work with those guys sometime or another. A lot of purebred champions there, and Team America, of course, we got work to do a little bit. We got to get a little better. But the guys showed a lot of heart. There were a lot of big moments in this match. There were some crazy moments too, which is sometimes the hardest to play behind. You have crazy things going on, like Serge's in the Skylar's match. Serge thought it was over, Skylar thought it was over, then back and forth. So yeah, just consistently try to get a little better and enjoy what we're doing.
Ну, прежде всего хотелось бы сказать, что у команды России прекрасное будущее, у вас прекрасные игроки, у вас все впереди. Что касается нашей команды, то да, мы стали немножко лучше, но по сути, что мы будем продолжать работать над собой, над своей игрой, продолжать прогрессировать по возможности. Да, игра сложилась просто сумасшедшей. Опять же, можно вспомнить тот матч с Сергеем Луцким, когда Скайлер думал, что все закончилось, но Сережа подумал, что все, теперь уж точно победа моя, и это просто сумасшедший. И потом анализировать после таких матчей, после таких партий особенно сложно. Но мы постараемся это сделать.
Jeremy, thank you for preparing such a great team and for such a great commentary.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
So Tyler, we were watching your pulsing. That was over the top.
Where was it? I don't even know what it was at. What was it at?
Что ж, мы наблюдали за двоим пульсом, и очень часто он подскакивал просто до небес.
So you felt a bit uncomfortable sometimes, a bit nervous?
When the score just gets a little bit closer, sure. But usually it's just getting the first game or two out of the way and then going from there.
Да, безусловно, я нервничал, это можно понять, но на самом деле важно выиграть первые 1 или 2 партии, вот, а потом уже все идет гораздо проще.
What does feel the player who just won last year the Mosconi Cup and defending the title this year?
Oh, it feels amazing. Just getting a chance to possibly go back out there and play again, play this event to get ready. I believe there's some set up back in the U.S. before the Mosconi Cup too, so we'll be able to get another one of these in and just getting used to the table conditions and playing as a team and gelling. I mean, we're all such good friends, so that comes pretty easily. But just staying focused and just doing what we're supposed to do.
Как себя ощущает игрок, который в прошлом году выиграл Mosconi Cup и в скором времени будет защищать этот титул? Что ж, да, это ощущение просто невероятное, да, как победа в прошлом году, и в скором времени нам тоже это предстоит, и это потрясающие ребята, мы все очень хорошие друзья, и мы одна команда, безусловно, будем очень готовиться, будем проверять условия, в которых мы будем играть, сделаем все от нас зависящее, чтобы защитить титул в этом году.
You've just won Kremlin Cup, so congratulations. But was it difficult to play after Kremlin Cup this Dream Challenge with Klakshot?
Ты только что выиграл титул на Кубке Кремля, выиграл важный турнир. Вообще, какие твои ощущения вот играть после Кубка Кремля здесь, да? То есть как ты себя ощущаешь с ограничением во времени?
Yeah, a little bit. As some of you know, the last game was like 7.5, 8 minutes, my last run out. But a little bit different format, different preparation. I don't think I'll have a problem with the shot clock as long as I'm preparing for it. But yeah, it felt good to get that win and come here and get this win and just get prepared for the rest of the year.
Да, безусловно, шот-клок влияет. Если не ошибаюсь, последняя партия, которую собирал на Кубке Беля, я собирал 7 или 8 минут, и, безусловно, играть с ограничением по времени гораздо сложнее. Но в целом не скажу, что я испытывал какие-то серьезные проблемы с этим. Да, ну, немножко по-другому, но в целом все в порядке.
Thank you, Tyler. Congratulations with 2 cups. Русланчик, ну, знаем, что последнее время ты готовился как никогда, что делал невероятные рекорды в стрейте. Как ты считаешь, что не сложилось в этот раз?
Well, Ruslan, we know that you're getting ready for this match like crazy. You're running a big series at straight pool, so what can you tell us about it?
На самом деле, я думаю, повлияло несколько факторов. Что касается меня, как обычно, у меня 3-й год подряд какое-то чудо происходит. В данном случае я, допустим, заболел. Не буду оправдываться, из-за чего плохо играл или что. Я думаю, частично можно сделать скидку на то, что действительно нам везло в важные моменты гораздо меньше. Катастрофически ничего не получалось с разбоем, у нас не получилось никак изменить это в течение 3 дней за маленькими редкими просветами абсолютно. В остальном я не считаю, что мы играли сильно хуже. Просто да, некоторый элемент удачи, который необходим в сетах до 5 побед, действительно, когда волнение зашкаливает, каждый такой момент, к сожалению, был не на нашей стороне.
Well, you can say that there are several reasons for the way the situation turned out. Well, one of the reasons, if you speak about me, the 3rd year in a row something happens to me, and right now I'm a little bit sick, so probably I didn't show my best game. But overall, I would say that bad luck was the deciding factor. I also should say that we got really unlucky with the break. Well, I'm sure that we are going to make good conclusions for the future, but yeah, I think that the deciding factor, the deciding reason for the situation was bad luck.
Руслан, спасибо, удачи. So now we have to say goodbye to all the spectators. Thank you that you've been staying tuned to ABN Billiards, and see you next year. Dreamchallenge from Russia with love.
Are we done?
Maybe later. I just for now we're finished.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jealous when the stakes are high. The only thing that gets you off is a blinded slide. I lost what I thought was right. Click, click, and the news around. And never you that no one knows what's wrong or right. I don't care anymore, you cry. Can we just laugh about it and ignore the time? I can see no other way. Stop the fighting for right life. I can see no other way. When the world is cruel, give it a dark face.
Ой, слушай, можно тебя попросить меня спросить?
Это тоже косарь.